At the Tony Macaroni Arena, the players will be emerging shortly. The action will be getting up and running. It is Livingston against Rangers, and it's live here in Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland with Lee McCulloch, Stephen Craigan and Stuart Mitchell.
Thank you very much, Richard. Good afternoon, everyone. Sunday lunchtime in Livingston, the third meeting of the season between Livingston and Rangers as the teams come out of the tunnel. Livingston wearing their full gold kit with the black trim. Rangers out from the left will be wearing the predominantly red change kit with the dark blue around. They're coming out with the tracksuit tops on and will line up either side of the match officials. The referee for this one, Stephen McLean. Both previous meetings, 4-0 victories for Michael Beale's Rangers in League and League Cup at Ibrox. Now Philippe Clement travels to meet David Martindale at a tricky Tony Macaroni Arena. Livingston lingering on a 4 straight league defeat run, looking to prevent it being 5. A tough ask against a resurgent Rangers, now looking for a 5th straight league win. It'll be a 4th for the new manager if it were to come. He's won 5 out of 6 in all competitions, and a win in this one can reduce Celtic's lead at the top to 5 points before Brendan Rodgers' side host Aberdeen after the action here. Rangers now just taking off the tracksuit tops. Livingston taking the hands of the match officials with the collection of mascots. Rangers supporters surrounding the stadium. To our right, a display with a banner that stretches across the front of the stand, reading that courage, faith and honour will stand where heroes fall, and a heavy number of poppies raised by the fans behind that. James Tavernier and Michael Devlin, the two captains either side of the referee, going through the pre-match photos. It's a chilly afternoon in West Lothian, but the players will be warmed up soon. There's so much on the line for both of these teams, important points to be had. Livingston looking to take themselves off the bottom of the Scottish Premiership table after St Johnstone's victory at home to Ross County yesterday afternoon. It's tight down there in the bottom 6. And it could all change if Livingston were to pick something up here, but it will be a tough ask against Philippe Clement's Rangers side, and we will have a moment's remembrance as clubs remember the service and sacrifices of those who lost their lives in conflict. Livingston and Rangers will do so on this Remembrance Sunday.
We ask everyone who is able to be upstanding to join us in this silence with the start and end and the referee's whistle.
David Martindale said he of course is confident that he'll lead Livy out of their current rut, is how he described it. Philippe Clement has never seen a team of his progress so quickly. He tries to keep feet on the ground but has high praise for his squad too. David Martindale mentions the atmosphere in training this week has been lifted despite the losing run at Livingston. Players staying far away from the treatment room. They all want to be involved and they want to pull Livingston out of the current situation. An early kick-off this Sunday afternoon as Livingston set to get us underway. They'll be shooting us from left to right. Rangers will be going from right to left. Bruce Anderson kicks us off this afternoon. The Rangers fans immediately in full voice to our right. The ball headed out early across the face of David Martindale on the touchline. Christian Montayo will have the early throw and he goes all the way back to Michael Devlin. appears Montayo will be lining up on the right side of that back three with Devlin and Sean Kelly. Kelly launching the ball forward on top of the head of Balogun, heads it into the midfield. Two players collide. Jack and Pittman, the two number 8s. It's cleared way up to the Livingston defence. Devlin thinks about it. The Livingston captain thought about going to Shamal George, the goalkeeper. The Lucas has it now on that right wing back side. Barisic charges down and it's out for a throw. So just quickly refresh your memory of the teams. 5 changes for Livingston. George and Montayo are back in alongside the Lucas, Sangari and Anderson. So Shamal George in goal, Montayo, Devlin and Kelly at the back. The Lucas, Shinnie, Pittman, Sangari and Penrice in midfield. Anderson and Nubli up top. Nubli trying to get a hold of the ball from the throw. Rangers have it in possession. Penrice with the header. Balogun sends it back towards the halfway line. Lawrence goes up. Devlin clears for Livingston. Up to Anderson. Gets stuck under the ball. Barisic will let it run for the Rangers throw. Philippe Clement making 4 changes from the 2-1 win against Sparta Prague on Thursday night. Davies, Cantwell, Lammers and Danilo dropping to the bench. Balogun, Lawrence, Dessers. The first Rangers start for Ross McCausland. So it's Butland, Tavernier, Goldson, Balogun, Barisic, Lundstrom, Jack, Lawrence, McCausland, Sima and Dessers. It's Ross McCausland on the ball, the number 45 with a quick step over on the right wing. Rangers going from right to left from our commentary position in the main stand. Tries to go around Penrice, ball takes a deflection and it will be a first corner of the game to Rangers. Stephen Craigan and Lee McCulloch alongside me in commentary this afternoon. Ross McCausland, Lee, Sean, that early intent.
Yeah, he started well. It was the first time he got the ball there, very direct, looking to take on Penrice. It was down outside him, went to get a cross in and earned his team a corner.
So on that far side, Tavernier raises the right arm, the top left corner arc. Collection of Rangers players in red surround the penalty spot. There will be a right-footed outswinger from the Rangers captain. Referee is at the back of the crowd just having a look through the bodies, and it goes towards the penalty spot. Touch at the front post by a Livingston defender, will take it all the way back. Lundstrom has it, looks to cross, instead spreads the ball over to Tavernier on that far side. Costland in space now, he's peeled away to the touchline, he's driving into the corner of the penalty area. Step over on the left foot, Lundstrom has space, opts to go left. Right footed strike from Lawrence, body's there, Montayo the first one and he clears it away off the left leg. Goldson picks up the midway point of the Livingston half. Back out to that right side for Ross McCausland again. You can see the confidence the Rangers players have in the youngster, but he has Pittman on his heels. The Livingston midfielders won the ball for Joe Nubli. He'll go driving down Livingston's left side, going from left to right in the gold kits. Goldson gets his body in front, he goes down. The referee Stephen McLean will blow for the free kick. Joe Nubli can't believe it, but good defending from Connor Goldson. Stephen Craigan,
it's very good. You know, we're talking about young Ross McCausland. There's just a little example that if you take too many touches, you just draw attention to yourself. It puts a little bit of pressure on you, so you can move the ball quickly when you're in tight situations. However, when you face defenders up, that's when you can go and be positive, show your intent and go and get after people. Starting with confidence,
Ryan Jack on the ball, coming across the halfway line, he threads it through. Go up to Sima, back heel, but gets caught on a deflection and it will go out for the Rangers throw on the far side, just in line with the penalty spot in the Livingston area. Just about 4 minutes played, Livingston 0, Rangers 0 on this lunchtime kickoff. Throw to be taken. McCausland is moving around the corner flag. Dessers comes short out the penalty area. Offers Tavernier an option. He'll thread it through looking for Lawrence. Gets the Montayo's there. Immediately looks for a dangerous ball forward to Bruce Anderson. But the swerve is taken out towards the touchline. It just picks up a little bit of pace on the surface. Bruce Anderson can't get there. And Borna Barisic will have the throw to take.
I have to say, it's quite unusual to see Christian Montano playing as a right centre half, being left-footed, and De Lucas, who's normally a centre half, playing as a wing back. It's clearly something Davy Martindale's looked at and thought there's an issue. I don't know if it's a recovery pace of Montano, potentially up against Sima if he gets beyond them, but it'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
Tavernier goes long, looking for Lawrence. George comes out of his 6-yard area and he manages to grasp at it, but Lawrence had eyes on it, looking up into the Livingston sky, the sun shining, maybe put him off a little. Shamal George in the fluorescent green and yellow looking goalkeeper kit can take that one and roll it out to Montayo that Stephen Craigan mentioned. Normally plays as a wing back, a good all-round player, can drive forward and get Livingston upfield too. Luigi De Lucas was a little bit suspect for a couple of goals a few weeks ago here in the 2-0 defeat to Livingston. Defending corner and long throw. It's back in the side for David Martindale this afternoon. Rangers have the throw which Liam Balogun wants to take next to the corner flag down to our right, but the officials will point towards Borna Barisic, who's just inside the Livingston half on this near side. Almost shoulder to shoulder with his new manager, Philippe Clement, who stands in his suit, giving the instructions as Dessers looks the ball into the middle. Sean Kelly manages to get that one away, but it's not really a pass, more a clearance as Balogun sends it back forward. Dessers looks to chase, McCausland now lets the ball drop, nods it down for Dessers. Seema with a quick first touch pass through, he's looking for the run of Tom Lawrence. It will run through to Shamal George, but Seema again picking up from where he left off in a good performance on Thursday night against Sparta Prague.
Yeah, he's such a threat with his pace and power, and he's picking the ball up in deeper areas, and he's a ball carrier. He really is. I think he struggles a little bit in tight situations when he's playing maybe a little bit more narrow, but he prefers to hang out wide and use that pace, and he's very, very effective when he's on his game.
I have to say the game has panned out how Davy Martindale probably hoped it would. It's scrappy, the ball's spending a lot of time in the air, there's no real fluency. Rangers are trying to make passes, the pitch is making it difficult, and if Livingston are to get something from this game, this is the pattern that has to continue.
Livingston are attacking on that left side. Newbley has it, looking to go around Connor Goldson. He's held up, will wait for the option. Penright's trying to cross. Newbley and Goldson will scrap for the ball outside the area on the far side. Dessers now working back, nods it in to Lundstrom. Plays it forward. Lawrence looking to break. Seema's the most advanced player for Rangers. Sliding challenge from Michael Devlin will slide the ball out of play. And applause from the Livingston supporters in the main stand around us. And Rangers will have the throw. 0-0, just over 7 minutes on the clock in West Lothian. Goldson for Tavernier. Looks to pass across the halfway line from McCausland. Ryan Jack takes a heavy touch on the right foot. Livingston will have the throw. Livingston do get the ball. They're looking to make use of the wide areas. Newbley will hold his ground one side. Bruce Anderson will look to make those charging runs to pick up possession on the right side. It's the goalkeeper though that has it at the moment. George launches upfield. Goldson commanding in the air. Bruce Anderson will try and use his back to get some hope of winning the ball. It will drop to Seema. De Lucas gets too close. Seema turns, spreads it on the left wing for John Lundstrom. He's there on his own when Tayo goes to meet him. Barisic coming to support. Lundstrom has it on the right foot. He's forced away from goal, midway point of the Livingston half, and finds Goldson all alone in the centre circle. Tavernier threading it through. Again, as Rangers just look to pierce those balls through the Livingston defence, they're playing it a little bit slower, but still the surface just taking the ball through to the Livingston goalkeeper, George. It's a frosty morning in West Lothian. The stand above us defrosting, drips in the head as we've been preparing for this game. It's not good for the notes unless you've got some cover, but there may be a little bit of water on that surface. It just makes it a little bit more tricky for Rangers, who are trying to play the ball through on the pitch and try and that Livingston penalty area, Stephen. Yeah,
you know, Rangers want a slick game. They want to move the ball quickly. Sometimes it holds up, it's a little bit sticky, so they have to adjust, they have to adapt. And in the game today, you just have to find a way to win.
McCausland coming in off the far touchline, stabs the ball through. Dessers with a heavy touch. Tavernier will keep it in play. It's just outside the penalty area, far side. Jack now inside, loops it over. It's headed away. Newbley will try to get something on it, but Stephen McLean has spotted an infringement in the area. Dessers and Seema look towards Stephen McLean, confused, but Livingston will be happy to take the pressure off. David Martindale not quite happy though. He's on the left of his technical area, walks back to his coaching staff, a shake of the head, just looking a little bit tense as he looks to have that game plan implemented. He's pointing to Shamal George and where he wants the ball to go. It's over here on that left back area where Borna Barisic stands. De Lucas on the right wing back position has the height. Instead it goes up central. Anderson can't win it. Tavernier hooks it upfield. Michael Devlin will try and find the ball back to George. Dessers chasing. George with the right foot is aimless with that one. Can Anderson keep it in play? He does so well, but even better, Tavernier in the challenge. Lovely pass too for Dessers. Edge of the area, right foot shot. It's charged down by Devlin. Jack, Barisic. Rangers still threatening on the edge of the final third here. Lundstrom has space, no one closes him down. Some Rangers fans urge the shot. It's out to Barisic. Now Lawrence, and Barisic wanted to take a step forward. Lawrence playing the pass behind the right foot of Borna Barisic, it's wasted. It will be a Livingston throw with just over 10 minutes on the clock. It's Livingston 0, Rangers 0.
I completely agree with Stephen, what he's saying there regarding Rangers. They need to keep probing, they need to keep passing the ball. The surface is a little bit sticky today, which makes it difficult. I think Livingston have set out their stall, they're going to go direct, they're going to play off second balls. The one thing I would say about Livingston this season, this stadium and pitch was a place that all teams used to dread to come in a couple of seasons past. This season it hasn't really been the case. I think Livingston need to bring that nastiness back in their game, their intensity back, and make it a really, really difficult place to come. And they've started pretty well so far at that.
I have to say, I think now teams are fair and coming to the surface. Never mind Livingston the team. Whereas previously, you're right, it was Livingston the team that people didn't like playing against. And Davy Martindale, right? You know, if there's ever a day to kickstart that, it's today.
Rangers on the attack. Dessers away from Devlin, left side of the penalty area, left-footed shot, tries to go through the legs of George, who gets down superbly to save. Rangers will have the throw. Livingston unhappy. They thought there was a foul as Dessers moved up that left wing. Michael Devlin's the one who's the most vocal with the complaints, the Livingston captain.
I'm not sure it's a foul. I'm not sure. I think Dessers does great, applies a bit of pressure, gets a nick on the ball, ended up with a 1-on-1, and George is just saved it with his legs. He's unlucky. It was good play for Dessers there.
Barisic has it, looks to cross, it's out for another throw. We'll hand over to Brian McLaughlin, who'll maybe have a better view between the two technical areas. Brian?
Yeah, there was definitely a shirt pull there. I've watched a replay on the screen, and yeah, Rangers were fortunate to get away with that one.
Thank you. Always good to have another set of eyes closer to the action. Brian McLaughlin will provide updates throughout this one for us. It's Borna Barisic readies a corner in the bottom left arc from our commentary position. There will be an outswinger. Collection of players towards the back of the penalty area. Barisic steps up, left-footed, stepping on top of the penalty spot. Nubley heads away. Goldson went down in the area. Rangers continue. Lundstrom back out to this near side. Barisic has to go around Nubley. Striker commits the foul. Rangers will have the opportunity again. Possibly a better position for the right footer to swing this one in deep towards the back post and cause a bit of trouble to that Livingston defence.
I have to say, Connor Goldson's not happy, because that's on two separate occasions from set plays in wide areas that Mikey Devlin has been grabbing the hold of Connor Golson. He's had a little hold of his jersey, that's been coming together. He actually went to Stephen McLean and said, can you have a look? Because clearly he tried to make a run and he was brought down. So as much as you want your players to get touch tight and be aggressive, you've got to keep it within the laws of the game.
James Tavernier's across with Borna Barisic as both experienced players weigh up the options. Rangers have a line of 4 on the edge of the penalty box with a couple scattered just behind the D. Tavernier continues the discussion. You'd expect it to favour the right-footed captain. There's a two-man Livingston wall set up in Pittman and Anderson. Livingston just looking to keep that defensive line high. Mentioned their failure a couple of weeks ago here, defending set pieces against Dundee in the 2-0 defeat. Tavernier swings it in, the touch there, and it comes off George. It's dipping at the back post, and it's touched in by Connor Goldson. Rangers have an early goal. There's looks towards the assistant on the far side from the Livingston players, but there is no movement, and the Rangers players will celebrate in front of the supporters. Well worked, unselfish play by the away side, and Connor Goldson there to sweep up right in front of the goal and score his first league goal of the season. It's Livingston 0, Rangers 1 with just under 15 minutes played.
Yeah, it was Tavernier with a great ball in. I think George, it's a routine catch, I would say, for George. I don't know if the sun's in his eyes. He's mishandled it, let's say. It's went to the back post area, it's went to Lundstrom. Tremendous header back across the goals, and Goldson's there with a tap in with a head. It's a bit of a strange one, to be honest, but
Scrappy
Rangers are 1-0 up. Very scrappy.
Really scrappy, but it's one of those ones that, because we don't get a second viewing of it, when the cross comes into the box and Golson makes an initial move towards the ball, he looks about 4 yards offside. So it has to be timed perfectly. Of course, as always with VAR, they will check it. But as a visiting team in Rangers and Celtic, with regards to that, when you come to this stadium, you want to break the resistance, you want to get the early goal. You don't want to be chasing this game deep into it. So it'll be interesting to see if it does stand.
Stephen McLean stands with his right hand pointing on the headset on his ear. We'll pass you over to Brian McLaughlin, and we have had a second look at it. There was a suspicion of offside from the Livingston defence, Brian.
Yeah, for me, this goal will be disallowed because Dessers certainly makes a move towards the ball, and that may well have put off Shamal George, the goalkeeper. The ball rebounded off his chest, and obviously it was knocked back in, and Conor Golson knocked it back. But I think the referee will have a decision to make as to whether Dessers actually, the interference was enough to put Shamal George off. We've had this on a number of occasions this season, but Dessers was definitely in an offside position when the ball was played in. He certainly made a move towards the ball, didn't touch the ball, but the ball then came up off the chest of the Livingston goalkeeper and then knocked back into the goal for Golson to score. But I think this will be the decision that Steve McLean will have to make. I'll be surprised if this goal isn't ruled out.
Thanks, Brian. Stephen McLean is over at the monitor. He did make the signal. The Livingston coaching staff and David Martindale are increasingly unhappy. They expect this usually to have the word given to the referee rather than going to the monitor. Conor Golson's come across to the Livingston manager to make his case for the goal, and now Stephen McLean raises the left hand. Offside is the award. Livingston will have the free kick, and we are back to Livingston 0, Rangers 0.
Well, that's the point I was making, because we're at such a difficult angle to see it, that when Cyril Dessers actually goes to make contact with the ball, there's not a Livingston player within 5 yards of him, so he's either timed it absolutely perfectly or he's in an offside position. I think his movement towards the ball clearly puts off the goalkeeper. He's expecting or maybe anticipating a touch, which means the ball goes to his right hand side. He misses it completely and it catches him unaware. So if he's offside, he's offside.
And it could be a let-off as well, Lee, because Livingston didn't look great defending that set piece either, despite the goal being called off for offside. They'll need to do better from those kind of situations for the remainder of this game.
Yeah, if the referees had to come over, it must have been pretty tight, and there wasn't a Livingston player within 5-10 yards of him. I think that's been a little bit their downfall this season as well, for the physicality they've got in the team. I think they've been pretty poor from set plays, so they've got away with one there. Well, if it's offside, it's offside is what I mean. It's just not, it's been an average start, let's say.
Montayo has the throw, midway point of the Rangers half. Can Livingston get something going here? Lucas will allow the ball to go out for the throw. It will be in line with the Rangers penalty spot now. 17.5 minutes on the clock. Livingston 0, Rangers 0. Newbley, Gary, Devlin, Kelly all around the 6-yard area. Lucas launches a throw. Newbley tries to nod it on. Devlin tries to bring it down. Balogun clears away. Headed back in by Pittman, and the Rangers will look to break. It could be 3-on-2. Dessers nods to Lawrence, who nods it down for McCausland. He's been forced away by Penrice. Can McCausland come in field? He's past the defender. Right-footed shot. It's high and wide, but it's threatening to the Livingston defence. And it's another quick attack from Rangers going through the centre of the Livingston half. Unselfish play. And McCausland again just looking to have that fire in his heels, but 0-0 it remains.
It's great play. Good break from Rangers on the counter. McCausland running best part of about 80 yards there. He gets to about 20 yards out for the Livingston goal. He chops inside, then chops outside again, Penrice, and he's just unlucky with the shot. Very direct play, and he started the game bright.
That's a warning sign for Livingston, though, if you're going to put everybody up from long throws, that you have to make sure you're not caught in the counter-attack. Organisation, discipline. Davy Martindale was shouting at his players, you can't afford to overcommit and then go and get picked off from your own set play.
He's still shouting at me now, Stephen.
That distant voice you may hear is that of David Martindale speaking to Michael Devlin, just offering the instructions. So Tristan Montayo will hesitate with the throw. He now plays it down the line towards Newbley. Nice flick on with the right foot, looking for Anderson, but Rangers clear. Desser's the only player up there in red for the away side, but he does well to hold up. Lawrence chips the ball over with the right foot, looking for McCausland. Penrice heads away. Andrew Shinnie will just settle things down. Long it goes towards Anderson. Tries to get the header on it. May have came off the shoulder, so doesn't reach Joe Newbley. Conor Golson will calm down and play it back to Jack Butland. The crisp-looking white goalkeeper kit. Out left for Barisic. Rolls it down the left for Seema. Joy and life on that side. And Tayo comes across, steps in. Rangers will have possession deep in the Livingston half as they look to try and get themselves on the score sheet. Barisic stepping forward now. Livingston will set up around the penalty area. Joe Newbley's making his way back to the 6-yard area to try and offer some support in front of Cyril Dessers. Barisic readies the corner. Rangers third of the first half. Will be a left-footed outswinger again. Right arm raised. Lawrence, Goldson, Balogun all around. Headed away at the front post. Doesn't clear the area though. Headed to the back. Seamer strikes right-footed. And it's blocked by Montayo at the back post. And Rangers will have another corner to take. Now know what it means. 20 on the clock.
Yeah, you'd think with the size of the Livingston team, they would deal comfortably with set plays. And they are really untidy with it. There's an uneasiness about them. Rangers are making moves. You're trying to get free. All you've really got is Connor Goldson and Liam Balogun. That's the only real physical presence you have. So I think that's a concern for Davy Martindale.
Tavernier now from the opposite side. Another outswinger. John Lundstrom unhappy. There's something going on in the penalty area. This 4 breakaway. Cleared away by Shinnie at the front post that time. To the Rangers' disappointment from the corner kicks. He will now chase down Tavernier. Stabs it into the penalty area. McCausland still going. George comes out sliding. And the referee points to the spot. Penalty to Rangers. Stephen McLean made his mind up quickly. Ross McCausland charging through. The ball pierced through by Tavernier. And Rangers, who just had a goal disallowed for offside after a VAR decision from Stephen McLean, now have the opportunity to edge in front from the penalty spot. And James Tavernier will be the man to take it. Your thoughts, Lee McCulloch?
It's a tough one from the angle we're at. I think VAR will have a look at this, obviously. McCausland, because past somebody at pace, real pace, it was hard to see who it was. Jamal George has come rushing out. McCausland's took a touch past him and put it out for a goal kick, really, and he's went down. I don't know how much contact there's been. Obviously it will get checked, but from here on, from where we are, I think it looks soft, but you never know.
Yeah, the thing that entered in my head was it looked as if young Ross McCausland was on his way down anyway.
Yeah.
Anticipating the contact coming. I think VAR's had a look. It's decided that there's nothing clear and obvious. They overrule Stephen McLean's decision, so the penalty will stand.
3 penalties for James Tavernier in recent matches. His 4 goals. His last few domestic games, he's 1-on-1 with Jamal George. Ball in the penalty spot. Stephen McLean sorts out the players on the edge of the area, and he'll now step away into position. Down to our left, James Tavernier stepping up. Whistle blown. The Rangers captain, right-footed, and it's off the post. It remains 0-0, and Rangers still can't get themselves on the score sheet. James Tavernier, he missed one hitting the post to his left recently. That one was to his right. The clatter of the woodwork. And still the score remains in West Lothian. Livingston 0, Rangers 0.
I fancied him there, I fancied him there to score that. He's obviously disappointed, he's not hit the target. I think with the amount of goals he has scored though, you can let him away with one. It's still early enough in the game for the team to bail him out, or for him to bail it out himself. He'll be disappointed, but it's gone now. You just need to keep going.
Rangers are still going as Dessers picks up possession. Goldson now will take it on the halfway line. I'm actually hearing that the ball went wide from the penalty, and at the stanchion behind the goal, that was the noise that was heard. So Tavernier unable to hit the target, and Dessers here. It's cleared away by Sean Kelly. Pittman takes on the touchline, rolls up towards Newbley inside the Rangers half. Here's Balogun keeping close attention. Looks for Anderson, the last touch of a Rangers player, and Livingston will have the throw.
Sorry, you just wonders at one of those afternoons. They had the goal disallowed, they had the penalty, they missed. As I said, when you're one of the bigger teams coming to a ground like this and it's a difficult pitch to play on, you want to try and get the first goal, you want to try and put all the pressure back on the Livingston so they have to open up and you can pick them off, but Rangers haven't managed to get through so far.
Montayo takes it away from Lundstrom after the throw, sliding on Seamer. Rangers have it. Barisic clears upfield. Dessers tries to play on the shoulder of Devlin and lets the ball drop. Sean Kelly's there to clear. Balogun lets it bounce. Pittman paying close attention. He's chasing Barisic. He keeps charging Leon Balogun. Livingston will have another throw. And with those 2 incidents, Lee McCulloch, you just feel Livingston starting to take a bit of confidence from it. They're starting to pose a bit of a threat on the Rangers defence here, and they're finding possession down in this wide area.
Yeah, I think they're challenging for second balls a little bit more. They're still going direct, but they've got away with potentially one or two, so it might wake them up a little bit. They will be gaining in confidence the more the game goes on. But Rangers, Stephen's spot on, Rangers just need to be wary. They need to be set up pretty well defensively for these set plays or the long throws that are coming in, and they need to start taking chances.
Look, I got all that one all wrong. Lawrence has possession, threaded through for Dessers. He's away from Kelly, and on goal, strikes and the ball well trundle over the goal line. Goal Rangers, and it's Cyril Dessers running away in celebration this time. And at a third attempt, Rangers appear to have taken the lead. It's brilliant quick play out of the defence, a lovely ball through, and Cyril Dessers on the score sheet, his 4th Premiership goal of the season. And is it now Livingston 0, Rangers 1?
Let's wait a couple of minutes. Yeah, that's why Tom Lawrence is the team. He's picked it up, sort of turned beautifully, and I was expecting him to hit young McCausland out wide, but he's sort of disguised his pass. It's a tremendous pass into Dessers. Dessers does great, holds the defender off 1v1 with Shamal George and just sort of lifts it over him. It's a tremendous finish, great composure, and Dessers, another start, it's another goal. He's continuing this form that in the last maybe 5-6 weeks has picked up since the start of the season.
And they've had the warning sign. A Livingston throw in deep in this half. They get caught in the counter-attack, and Davy Martindale is furious. 10 minutes later, the exact same thing happens again. Rangers break. The pass from Lawrence is sublime. It really, really is when you see it on the Sports Team highlights tonight. And out of nothing and no danger, Livingston find themselves behind.
27 minutes now on the clock. Rangers have the free kick for the foul on John Lundstrom, but as Lee alluded to, 3 goals in his last 4 league matches now for Cyril Dessers. 4-0 win at home to Hibs last month, the recent trip to Dundee, now here against Livingston. Another delicate finish from Dessers, and David Martindale turned away in disgust, a shake of the head. The guys were touching on earlier, Livingston in recent seasons feared at home. Rangers are finding those gaps, finding those spaces early in this lunchtime kick-off on BBC Sports Sound. Goal ruled out after VAR check for offside. James Tavernier missed from the penalty spot, but Dessers has given Rangers the lead. Livingston 0, Rangers 1. How can Livingston respond? Here's Sangari coming up the left side. The ball's taking a wicked bounce, but he manages to get across. It makes it difficult for Goldson to deal with. Sangari has it again, looking for Anderson. Balogun with a clearing header away, but he's down in the heat holding his left hip. Sima will continue. Rangers have numbers forward. 4-5 up against Livingston. It's McCausland, but he gets the pass all wrong for Sima, who's drifted over to that right side. Michael Devlin will see it over the byline. Jack Butland is screaming for attention to be shown to the Rangers centre back with the medical team now coming on. Philippe Clement mentioning he was expecting to have players back after the international break. John Souttar, one of those. Some talk recently about Leon Balogun not being included in that European squad, with Philippe Clement opting for him to partner Goldson. And it's a 3rd consecutive domestic start for Leon Balogun. And the Rangers fans and manager will not want to see any trouble here for Leon Balogun, but it does allow Philippe Clement to get some instructions across to his Rangers players, who will be now happy with them having that 1-goal lead from Cyril Dessers' strike a couple of moments ago.
I have to say that, you know, there's been a lot of talk about the improvement in Rangers since Philippe Clement came in, and I think you can see that today. You can see that mentality. Goal ruled out for offside, they get the ball and they go again. Penalty missed, doesn't matter, clear their heads, they go again. I think previous Rangers teams, maybe under previous management and possibly the last 2 managers, might have felt sorry for themselves. It was sluggish, they were slow. Today there's a real zip to their play, whether that's a couple of changes that have come in or whether it's just the presence and the stature of the manager that's instilled that into the players, but they certainly look a different animal.
The spot on, it's like a ruthlessness, Stephen. It's even the other night in the European game against Sparta Prague, they went 1-0 up, and again I agree, under maybe manager 2 ago, it would be right, let's keep the ball, let's keep possession. they were going for the second goal the other night, and I think that's a glaring difference for me under Clement. It's that let's go, we need another goal, we'll go and get another goal. So it's not all this possession-based football and keep the ball and try and look good. It's let's go and win games.
Clement says a good team for him is a team that does it for months. He wants to create a machine, he says, thinks it's possible with the players. It's all down to habit and that mentality, Stephen.
Yeah, it is. And you have to change the mentality, and the players know if they don't change the mentality and play the way he wants, then he'll just leave them out and bring someone else in. So players who've come here want to be part of the club, they want to be successful, but you've got to do it the manager's way. And if not, I'm afraid you'll not be in the side.
Livingston have the ball in play on the far side. Sean Kelly looks long, heading towards Pittman. Lundstrom's there to head away. Speaking this week about the new manager, the fear that he gives when he walks in the room, instant respect, something the Rangers players have clearly responded to. McCausland, been handed his first start today, picks up the ball. Dessers spinning and turning with two Livingston players on his shoulders. Over to Lawrence now, into the final third, lays off for Barisic, left side the penalty area, cut back across goal. The slide there from Shinnie, gets the ball off his right foot. Shamal George Gallers, some claims from the Rangers supporters behind that goal to our left. Referee Stephen McLean happy for play to continue with the ball in Shamal George's hands. Just over a half hour played at the Tony Macaroni Arena. Livingston 0, Rangers 1. Cyril Dessers with the goal, James Tavernier before that missing from the penalty spot after McCausland was fouled by the Livy goalkeeper. Goldson had a goal chopped off earlier for offside too. It's been a fast start in West Lothian. Livingston looked like they could pose some sort of threat from these long throws. They have one here in the midway point of the Rangers half, just in front of our commentary position. It's back to Montayo. Shinnie now lifted towards Nubli. Barisic is there first, he'll swipe it away left-footed. Montayo, right-footed, caresses the ball towards Pittman. Balogun, who took that earlier knock, okay to continue in the centre of defence, stands strong there to get it away. Michael Devlin, delicate pass from Montayo, he's running away from Sima. Still going through a crowd of three Rangers players. The break of the ball off Barisic, and he'll clear away. The Rangers just starting to condense in that penalty area, the midfield line just pushing a bit further back, and Livingston are managing to wriggle their way through as it stands. 32 minutes played. Livingston 0, Rangers 1.
I think these long throws could pose a danger to Rangers. I think a couple of goals have conceded this season from long throws, so although Livingston have just took it short there, I think it's commentator's curse.
A couple like that so far. We're just trying to mix it up and keep Rangers guessing, I think. Sean Kelly plays the ball forward. Sima wins the header just outside the penalty box. Rangers looking to spring that quick counter again. Andrew Shinnie won't allow it. Former Rangers man gives it to his captain at Livy, Michael Devlin. Anderson on the shoulder of Barisic, who does well to keep his eyes on the ball, adjusts his neck, get the head behind the ball. It's out for another Livingston throw. Nubli takes quickly for Anderson. The two forwards looking to link up. Anderson peels away. Sangari has space. Light blue boots on the left foot. Flips it over towards the back. Cut across, but Penrice just didn't get enough on it. The flag was raised anyway by the assistant on the near side. Butland will continue and roll it out quickly. McCausland's given it away low to Penrice, who was looking to get back into his left wing back position. Montayo now on the right side of Livy's back three. He'll step forward. He asks for runners. Nubli and Anderson provide. Balogun's up in front of both to win the header. Barisic turns and slings that one up towards the halfway line. Sima can't keep possession. DeLuca gives Nubli something to chase. Pushes away Balogun, drives it back. Edge of the D, Sangari takes. Lovely picked out pass from Nubli. Livingston growing in confidence here. Lifted over towards Anderson. Barisic heads it away, midway point of the penalty box. DeLuca scrapping with Sima, but Sima stays strong, gets in front. DeLuca too busy complaining to the ref, and it allows Rangers to roll on. Ryan Jack now, Tavernier stepping up in space. He's over the halfway line, pierced it through. Dessers are away on the shoulder of the defence. Cyril Dessers, and he's dragged that one wide. Offside. He looks certain to score after his earlier goal, but the flag now raised by the assistant as Lee McCullough gives the offside call, and it remains with almost 35 minutes on the clock at Livingston. Livingston 0, Rangers 1.
It was good play for Tavernier. It's a great slide pass through. Obviously Dessers offside. He didn't know that. He was 1-on-1 with the goalie, and you just expect him to have, with him already scoring, to put that in the back of the net, and it was like he put it about 5 yards past the post. Maybe he did know he was offside, Stephen.
Well, possibly, but It's funny, you used the word you probably expected him to score. I'm not too sure he's at that stage in his Rangers career yet when he goes through a one-on-one that the fans expect him to score. But once again, Rangers showing their dynamism when they turn the ball over, how quickly they can get forward in numbers.
It looked like the angle was there. Anderson from a difficult angle as the first time shot, and that one swerves over Jack Butland's bar. But there's some concern here for Lucas, who's holding his head on the edge of the penalty area. Both Joe Nubley and Borna Barisic are just checking that he's okay, along with the referee and the medical team. They're coming on here, stand and wait. So we just draw back to that earlier Desser's chance. I think what you were looking at, Lee, is there was a big angle there, it appeared, from the way we're looking at it in the stand on that left side to put it past the goalkeeper, but Jamal George rushing out to try and narrow that down. Did it maybe look a bit similar to the chance from the other side that he scored earlier?
Yeah, it did a little bit. It's not the best of views we've got here on that goal. I was just thinking, he's got his goal, his confidence should be high. I was expecting him to at least hit the target with it. I know it doesn't really matter because he's offside, but I was just expecting him to do a little bit better.
Rangers restart. Lucas still on the field. Lundstrom plays the ball forward. Sean Kelly's there to sweep up. George will stop the ball with his studs and then hit out to the far side for Penrice. Can't quite collect it on his left foot first time, but will get the pass forward on the second. Goldson heads away from Anderson. Tavernier dispossessed again, but he'll pick it up in the midfield area. Sangari there. Tavernier peeling away. He goes to the ground. He manages to stab the ball forward. It's Lawrence. McCausland ahead of him. The Rangers 45 driving into the penalty area on the left foot. It's McCausland, deflection, claims of handball. Stephen McLean looked to be in a good position right on the attack, and he throws both arms out to the side and says no. And Livingston and Jamal George will just pause for a brief second before they restart. But Rangers are really looking threatening every time they go forward, especially on that right side through Ross McCausland, as Nubley's now filled. Leon Balogun after the long ball forward, and it remains with 37 minutes on the clock. Livingston 0, Rangers 1.
Young McCausland again picking the ball up when he's got space. He does look a threat. This time he cut inside. He took another touch and then hit a shot with his left foot. From the angle I was at, it did look like a penalty. Obviously need to see it again, but it was great direct play from young McCausland.
Leading at the arm was across the chest. Livingston looked to defend that one. Referee Stephen McLean did look to have a good view, and he was quite happy to let play continue. Sun still shining here in West Lothian. Livingston 0, Rangers 1, as Tom Lawrence picks up in the middle of the Livingston half. Montayo tries to step out of defence to go on a run. David Martindale encouraged, passed off to Joe Nubley, laid off to Lucas. Now Devlin. Sean Kelly spread himself out to that far left side. Space opening up here for Livingston. Penrice holding the touchline, but Kelly will go long. Anderson will run in front of Goldson. Goldson looked to have time to do something with that clearance, but it comes off the wrong part of his foot and out for a Livingston throw. Anderson's taking it quickly. Nubley has possession in the penalty area. Can he get the layoff? Driven across as a deflection off Connor Goldson, and now Livingston will have their first corner of the match with 38 on the clock to try and threaten from the set piece. Can David Martindale's side find an equaliser to level up from Desser's strike past Jamal George? Livingston leaving a couple back. Dessers is the lone man up there around the centre circle. Nubley, Sangari, Montayo, Devlin all in a chain at the penalty spot. Left-footed outswinger dipping down. Goldson gets ahead to it. Montayo peels away to the back. Takes the touch, turns away, left-footed strike. Taken from the palms of Jack Butland, who lets the ball bounce and gathers that one cleanly, but gets the kick out all wrong as it comes off the heels of Ryan Jack. And Tom Lawrence can tidy things up. Barisic forward for Dessers. Pittman sliding in at the heels of the Rangers forward. Careless from Lawrence. Given away to Michael Devlin, Livingston captain. Exchanges passes with Shinnie, and now Sean Kelly will settle it down on that far side of the back three. Shinnie will drop in between. He'll take possession and roll to Devlin. There's a look to this near side touchline for Lucas, but the ball too high, nowhere near dropping down for the big wing back this afternoon. And Rangers will have the throw to take with Borna Barisic going to collect the ball.
They just need a bit of variation, Livingston. You know, we said they would probably go long, they'd go direct, straight. They've done that Now, what's plan B? Because that really hasn't worked for them. Newbley a couple of times has pinned Connor Goldson, he's pinned Liam Balogun, but that's their first real serious attempt on target from Montano, so they need to do something different.
Rangers working it from the throat. Lawrence has it. Spread over to Lundstrom. McCausland giving it. Rangers supporting in numbers. McCausland right side of the penalty box. Slips a pass through for Lundstrom. Back to the youngster. The 20-year-old rolls on the studs, right-footed, plays a pass along the box. Desser's looking for the layoff, but there was no one there, and Livingston can clear. Just under 5 minutes to go until the half-time interval. Connor Goldson in a hurry to retrieve the ball. And Rangers half of the throw and the midway point on the far side.
He excites people when he gets the ball, Ross McCausland, doesn't he? And I think Lee said it earlier, I love it how the senior players aren't even thinking, they're just giving him the ball. And I think once you give him it, leave him, don't come away from him, allow him to go 1v1 and create, because I think he's been a real bright spark this afternoon.
It looks like the Rangers players know something's going to happen when he has it too. That's why they get the bodies forward, and they've got that support supplied around the penalty area. And they're doing so again from the opposite side now with Barisic. Lawrence made some tidy passes with some creativity this afternoon. Barisic with the crossover. Montayo managed to get something on it, and Livingston clear away. Rangers throw just on the edge of the final third on this near side. Philippe Clement asks for it to be taken to Barisic. He will throw. Goldson has it. Sangari's down on the far side of the pitch, holding his right knee, and he's looking across to the Livingston technical area. There's a look of frustration again on the face of David Martindale. He will have had a game plan coming into this one. It's been difficult to implement so far. He's had injury troubles in the back line. We mentioned it previously. Obalai looking to return after missing a number of games out too. Sangari this time in the midfield is the one receiving the attention. David Martindale being joined by Brian Rice, who's bringing his experience to the club, the recent Alloa Athletic boss, leaving the Wasps for the Lions. As Martindale looks to strengthen his backroom team. Mentioned something's been missing a little bit since the departure of Christophe Berra. He's having a conversation with some of his experienced players at the moment, Montayo, Shinnie. What do you think you'll be telling them, Stephen, for the remainder of this first half? A few minutes to play, Livingston 0, Rangers 1.
Well, first of all, make sure you don't concede a second goal. I mean, that's probably negative information to give players, but that's what you'll be saying. Make sure we're solid in midfield. Let's not get caught in the counter-attack. We get into half-time and we can try and mix things up or change things slightly to try and get them back into the game. But ultimately, when you're the underdog, stay in the fight as long as you can. That will be the challenge for Livingston.
Mentioned Rangers players before that. Lawrence and Barisic, and they'll look to create again from this left side with the ball back in play. Barisic whips a deep cross in towards the back post, headed over, is cleared away on the penalty spot. Jack will battle with Anderson. The midway point of the Livingston half. It's back to Balogun, who manages to get his left foot wide to sweep that one to Goldson. He'll pause in the Rangers half and drill it forward high, looking for McCausland over in that top left corner on Rangers right side, going from right to left. Penrice in front, pushes the youngster out, but Rangers will have the throw.
What a ball for Goldson there. He's deep. He's in his own half, and he's played that a good 60 yards right to young McCausland's feet. That's brilliant. That's what Goldson brings as well.
He has it again. Now he goes for the cross. It's in, and Sima there with the touch, and the shot from Desser somehow doesn't go in, but the follow-up does. And what a moment there for Ross McCausland as he moves across in celebration. But the referee will rule it out. He's blown for a free kick. Sima is furious. He's having a conversation. John Lundstrom's having to pull the Rangers forward away. Rangers thought they'd had a second. Ross McCausland thought he had a goal, but Stephen McLean was across with the arm up.
I think it's Sima. Is it Sima at the back post? Because you're talking about Connor Golson's pass. He puts a delightful cross in with the right foot. It comes to the back post. Sima, I think, is telling the referee, I was trying to get to the ball. I was actually pulled back. I didn't foul the defender. And then from the ball bounces about, and eventually it works its way out to young Ross McCausland. Again, all goals, it is being checked, but the Rangers players were adamant that they hadn't made the foul. The foul was actually on them.
I agree. I think when the ball comes to Ross McCausland, it bounces just before he hits it, and it's an unbelievable finish. Great composure, great technique. It'll just be interesting to see what the outcome is here.
Well, I mentioned it's a chilly lunchtime in Livingston. The equipment for VAR and the officials will certainly be warm with the amount that's been used in this first half. Stephen McLean still stands over in that left 6-yard area with his right hand to his ear. Jamal George throws his arms up in frustration. He thinks it's an easy decision to be made. Sima was the one punished. Now Stephen McLean points and confirms the free kick. The boos from the Rangers supporters, and the goal will be ruled out, and it will remain Livingston 0, Rangers 1. We're moving into additional time now. 6 added minutes in this opening 45.
What a
in
first
Livingston.
half though, eh? We've had a bit of everything.
Somehow, with the equipment being used, the cards not used by Stephen McLean in this first half, but certainly plenty of talking points between Livingston and Rangers this Sunday afternoon. Remember, Celtic and Aberdeen to come later. Full commentary here on BBC Sports Sound after this one, as Barisic picks up the ball just inside the Livingston half. Plenty to warm up. Lee McCulloch and Stephen Craigan in the half-time break with Richard Gordon, which will be coming shortly with those 6 additional minutes signalled. Well, Rangers going in for the half-time team talk at 1-0. That's what David Martindale wants to keep it at, as the Rangers defence tries the long diagonal in behind the Livy back line. That will bounce all the way over for the goal kick. Jamal George in no hurry to take this one. Philippe Clement has been talking about the surface ahead of this game, spoke about his experience in Belgium, but he wants his players to be ready. They have looked ready on the pitch, but there will be that frustration there that they aren't further ahead with the chances that they've had, and a couple of times they've had the ball in the back of the net. Twice that was, and there was also a missed James Tavernier penalty, all in this first half. Livingston 0, Rangers 1. Ryan Jack just slows possession down and rolls it back to Connor Goldson, right-footed. He'll dagger it over to this near side for Barisic. He starts a run. Sima on the left, he's the man penalised. Saw that most recent Rangers attack, have the goal chopped off. Lundstrom has it, looks at his options, teases the ball forward. De Lucas manages to get something on it, stood on the ball. Montayo's there to sweep up and clear away. David Martindale steps forward and points to the heads for concentration. He wants to see this one through. He has the half-time team talk prepared in his head, and he wants to be able to use those words. James Tavernier now, far side on the right. Rangers going from right to left, exchanges passes with Ryan Jack. He'll spin on the ball, looks back central. Lundstrom unmarked, right-footed, white boots, back for Jack. McCausland on the touchline, slides it back to the Rangers midfield. Now for Goldson. Lawrence drops into that midfield area, plays a pass to Lundstrom and forces the Rangers players forward. Looks right towards McCausland, decides to go inside. Lawrence has it, he'll look towards that touchline now, but the ball's forward. Tavernier, Dessers quickly off. James Tavernier back to Dessers. George with the save, and Sean Kelly heads that one away. Livingston scramble it away in the edge of the area, and Goldson will head it back. Rangers looking to keep up this late pressure. Lundstrom, right-footed, teases the crossover. Montayo, first time, can't get the clearance. David Martindale has his hands in the air and now on his head. Sima takes the ball down. Livingston being forced further and further back towards their penalty area. Sima, Rangers 19. Can he get around Joe Newbley? The Livy striker stands strong for the Lions. De Lucas feels a push from Sima. It goes down. Livingston have the free kick. And now it's Philippe Clement, the Rangers manager, who waves the right hand in frustration, and it will remain with almost 49 minutes played, 6 additional minutes on top of the 45. Livingston 0, Rangers 1 with that earlier Cyril Dessers strike.
I don't think half-time can come quickly enough for Livingston. Rangers dominating there. They've strung more than 10 passes together. Great intricate football round about the box. Dessers with a shot, and Jamal George with another great save. I think Livingston can't get near them. They can't get near them. Rangers are finding pockets of space, they're popping it round them, and Livingston have only really outball is just going direct, but they're sitting that deep they can't even get up the pitch now, so half-time can't come quick enough.
Stephen, I think he'll just want to settle the players down, won't he? You don't usually see a Livingston team devoid of confidence, but that's what it looks a little bit at the back at the moment, as Scott Pittman steals the ball from Tom Lawrence essentially.
Yeah, but that's the risk if you're playing a centre half as a right wing back and playing a left winger as a right centre half. there's going to be confusion and misunderstanding, because that's not positions that they're used to playing in. And De Lucas, for me, looks completely lost. He doesn't know where to press on the Barisic or drop off the Sima, which means that Barisic is getting space and Rangers are absolutely dominant.
Lundstrom has it, coming across the halfway line. Barisic makes the run forward on the left side, but instead the ball goes through centrally for Dessers. Quick feet from Lawrence, the ball stabbed towards Lundstrom and McCausland. The flag raised for offside, and Ross McCausland showing a little bit of his frustration there, swiping the ball away. David Martindale will be happy to see that, because it will just tick another few seconds by on that additional 6 minutes. Livingston coaching staff all on their feet, discussing things, and he does point to Shamal George to just calm things down, and maybe one last opportunity, as we're inside that final of the 6 stoppage minutes applied. George will go long towards Anderson and Newbley. Jack has a hold of the Livingston striker, but it goes beyond them towards Connor Goldson, who powers the header up towards Dessers. He flicks on for Sima, he's running it to Luca, and Sima's away, moving down the left side, but he tries to touch the ball on. It's heavy, just couldn't gather his feet, and it will go behind for the Livingston goal kick, and it will remain Livingston 0, Rangers 1.
I think they were asking for a free kick, Rangers. Again, De Lucas, the last thing you want is half a pitch and a race against Sima. So we had to try and arrest him, we had to outmuscle him, whether there was a pull of the jersey or whether he was impacting him trying to run forward. But in the end, he's a really heavy touch. But Rangers will be delighted with the first half. This has been a venue where they've struggled to create chances and score goals. This afternoon, they've created umpteen chances.
And there is no time for the goal kick to be taken as referee Stephen McLean blows the half-time whistle. What an eventful 45 minutes we've had here in Livingston. Over the 50 if you include the stoppage time. Connor Goldson thought he'd given Rangers the lead early, but the goal was checked by VAR and ruled out for offside. Later on, Ross McCausland was filled in the box. James Tavernier had the opportunity from the penalty spot, but he missed with the right foot, putting the ball wide of the right post. Cyril Dessers broke away from the Livingston defence and managed to slide the ball beyond Shamal George to give Rangers a 1-0 lead. And then Ross McCausland, late in that first half, thought he'd had a Rangers goal on his first Rangers start, but a free kick was awarded by the referee for a foul by Sima in the penalty area. There was a lengthy VAR check afterwards before the referee had word in his ear and confirmed the decision. So plenty to talk about at half-time for Richard Gordon, Lee McCulloch and Stephen Craigan. Half-time at the Tony Macaroni Arena in the Scottish Premiership. It's Livingston 0, Rangers 1.
On digital radio,
FM,
online at BBC Sports Scotland,
your smart speaker,
and on BBC Sounds.
This is Sports Sound from BBC Radio Scotland.
There's no substitute.
Off the button! What a strike! What a goal!
Join me, Brian Burnett, as I hear from the projects and charities in Scotland benefiting from BBC Children in Need.
We're showcasing their abilities. We're going to focus on disability. We can showcase their artwork, their sporting achievements.
To start with, they're really quite reserved. It doesn't take long for them to be really chatty.
Find out how your generosity is making a difference to young people around the country.
It makes me feel happy and enjoy myself. Having a better mental health status.
We wouldn't be here at all without the Children in Need funding.
Pudsey Pays Out, Friday afternoon from 3:30 on BBC Radio Scotland and Sounds.
Still to come this afternoon, it's a 2:30 kick-off at Celtic Park as the champions play hosts to Aberdeen. We'll head across there to set the scene for that one. We'll bring the team news just as soon as it comes to hand. But we have 45 minutes to look back on. As Stuart was saying there, my goodness, it was absolutely incident-packed. I've got to say, the only surprise at all, Stephen Craigan, is that it is a single goal advantage for Rangers. From a 45 minutes, they have utterly dominated.
They have, and just before the half-time whistle, I was saying, Richard, that this has been a venue where generally over the years Rangers have struggled at and they found it tough to create chances. They've had one game sometimes it's been by the odd goal or a penalty kick, but today they've been really on the money. And I think I was mentioning as well that, you know, in the 6 games since the manager came in, the turnaround in mentality, the turnaround in the quality and the intent of the team and the energy that the players have shown has been absolutely phenomenal. They've got a really dynamic front four. Cyril Dessers, at times I almost feel sorry for him because things aren't bouncing off him. He's getting opportunities. He maybe hasn't, endear himself to the supporters. There's a frustration around him sometimes, but he's still working hard. He's holding the ball up, he's running behind. Seems dynamic. Ross McCausland has been a real bright spark, and Tom Lawrence makes really good runs from midfield. So there just seems something different about this Rangers team. There will be a slight frustration that they're not further ahead, but the calmness and the assurance of the manager will be telling the players there's more there for us. So we keep doing what we're doing. Eventually Livingston will maybe open up or commit men forward, and that's when Rangers will really look dangerous from the counter-attacking opportunities that Livingston have presented to them. So it's been a really strong away performance. Everything the manager would have wanted to continue on from Thursday night, he's got, barring possibly another couple of goals.
Yeah, I was thinking at one point, Lee, that Rangers were utterly in command without hitting the absolute heights, maybe not quite very top, but actually they've got better and better as the half has gone on. And I mean, this is a game that all things being equal, they should win very, very comfortably indeed, isn't it?
Yeah, they've been very, very dominant. I think Livingston is a one shot at goal, and it's Montano with a shot on target. Other than that, it's been all Rangers. They've been dominant. They've passed the ball very well, created lots of chances. Offside goal for Goldson, disallowed goal McCausland. Tavernier missed a penalty. Dessers has had a few chances, 1-on-ones, made Shamal George make a couple of saves, but Dessers then went and got 3 goals in 4 games. So it's been very, very dominant, but they'll be well aware that at 1-0 it's a very dangerous lead. And at half time, get a chance for Livingston to regroup. The Rangers just need to keep doing what they're doing, creating chances, and hope that another one goes in. But Livingston are looking a bit of threat from long throws. Rangers of late or in the past have been vulnerable at set plays and especially long throws this season. So at 1-0, Livingston will always be in the game. So it's up to Rangers to go and maybe add a second or third goal.
I mean, you would certainly anticipate that being the case, but I guess they have been frustrated. I don't know, have you guys had the chance to see reruns of any of the big calls?
No.
No, right.
No,
so the first one, Tavernier whips in the free kick. Dessers, he does attempt to make contact, doesn't he? And he is in an offside position. Goldson eventually tapping it in. That was ruled out by VAR. I don't think there'd be any huge complaints about that one. Similarly, the McCausland goal, and you feel for the youngster because he's been a real threat throughout. It's a wonderful finish, got to say, really
what was a foul
finisher.
for? Because seemed to be arguing with the referee that
it was they deemed, and it did look like there was a push. Sima on Montano. He's in there with Montano and I think DeLucas, the 2 defenders. It does look as if there's a bit of a push on Montano, who falls to the ground. So that's why he's given that one. There may be more of a debate about that one, I suppose.
The finish itself from McCausland,
outstanding.
Sublime. The technique, the composure, it really was. It was maybe about 14 yards out, and he's put it into the roof of the net. It was a tremendous finish, but if there was a foul, disallowed goal.
Richard, he's been excellent, hasn't he? Young Ross McCausland.
And he looks about 12 years old.
I know, he does. And I'm delighted because he's Northern Irish and we're desperate to have creative players and flair players in our team because we're very rigid and organised, but we lack something at the top end of the pitch, someone with a little bit of imagination. And he hasn't been in the full 45 minutes, but the moments he has been in the game and the moments he's had the ball, James Penrice is backing off. He doesn't know where to go inside, to go outside. Yes, he's given the ball away a couple of times, but the senior players are giving him the ball as if to say, go and get on with it. You go and work your magic, you go and do your stuff, and we're round about it. If the ball turns over, we'll recycle it and give it back to you. So he's had a really impressive 45 minutes.
He was also involved, of course, in the penalty incident. He's bought that one, and I am astonished, absolutely astonished that VAR did not rule that out, because he's clearly going down. There might be the merest of touches, but the ball's out of play. He's going down long before he gets anywhere near Shamal George.
At the time,
yeah,
Richard.
you did.
We've not got that great a view from where that instant happened on the pitch. But even before he took his touch to put it out for a goal kick, which he clearly wasn't getting it. It looked like he was going down very, very early. And that's I turned to Steve and I thought, I don't think Rangers will get that. And then obviously Steve McLean's pointed to the spot, checked it and given it.
We just had a look at it, Richard, sorry. We just had a look at it on the phone beside us, and that's a VAR decision. that
Of course,
surely
yeah.
there's
It's
a clear
terrible.
and obvious error there, that the player is on his way down, and the contact probably comes as his knee's about to hit the ground. So you can see why Livingston were frustrated from it. And this is not an agenda against Rangers. Some people get carried away and think we're having to go at Rangers. Absolutely not. We're talking about the VAR is in place, that if it's a clear and obvious error or there's doubt around a decision being made, which is a penalty, the referee should go and have a little look. That's the reason we're talking about.
James Tavernier scores so many from the spot. That's a second miss for this season. He didn't miss any last season in the years, because I actually looked back when he hit the post against Hearts a couple of weeks back, and he'd missed in the previous seasons 2, 2, 3 and 2. So I mean, he is somebody who misses penalties, albeit he scores plenty of them. It is, look, I mean, it's remarkable. It is just 1-0 for Rangers. Absolutely dominant. Dessers, and in fact the goal he got a little bit lucky, because it takes quite a deflection of Sean Kelly and then trundles past the goalkeeper
so
and into the net.
It took a deflection, and that's what caused the trajectory of the ball to go up then. I thought he dinked it.
No, it's
from where we were. I thought it looked a tremendous finish from where we were. But sometimes you need that a little bit of luck. I think he's been in and out the game. I think overall he's done pretty well. Sometimes he's held it up tremendously, and sometimes he's just been a little bit slack with his touch, or sometimes he's tried it one touch and it's not been on where he should have took a touch. But you can't argue 3 goals in 4 games. He's had a couple of other chances, so I'm sure he won't be complaining. He's in the team. All he'll be asking for is his teammates to create chances, and that's what they're doing, and he's managed to get his goal.
Probably doesn't come as a surprise to hear that Livingston are planning a half-time change. Brian?
Yeah, just the one change coming up for Livingston. Mo Sangare, who's actually went down with a knee, or it seemed to be a knee knock, but there was no players around him when he went down. Anyway, he's being replaced, and it will be Jason Holt, the player who will be coming on for the second half.
Well, Holt looking to add a bit of solidity to that Livingston midfield, which has been largely overrun. Let's get to Celtic Park. Set the scene there for your Celtic Aberdeen with Liam.
Yeah, it's a beautiful afternoon here. Blue skies, sun is splitting it as well ahead of this one. Of course, Celtic Aberdeen generally goes the home team's way. Aberdeen just 1 win in 35 visits to Celtic Park. They are 22 without a win over the champions, and that is by some distance their worst ever record in this fixture. They of course come off the back of that terrific performance against PAOK in Greece the other night in Thessaloniki. 2-2 draw, really good defensively for the vast majority of that game. Wasn't enough though, was it? They have exited Europe, and Celtic coming off that chastening defeat at the Metropolitano against Atletico, as Brendan Rodgers comes up against the side who are the only team to beat him here at Celtic Park domestically, right at the end of 2018, and that was also Aberdeen's last success against Celtic. So the odds very much stacked in Celtic's favour today. Aberdeen desperate to get their league season kick-started. They've got a few games in hand over the other teams around about them. This is not the venue that they would hand-pick to get the season kick-started though. Here, Celtic against Aberdeen at Parkhead.
Right, the team news is not available quite yet, but we'll get that to you as soon as we can. Liam going to be there with Pat Bonner and Willie Miller. It's a 2:30 kickoff, given that we had 6 minutes of stoppage time at the end of the first half, and goodness knows how much there will be at the end of the second. If this game continues the way it has been, there will be plenty more big talking points to come in the second 45. That one change that Brian told us about for Livy, Holt on for Sangare. But they're going to need a huge improvement, Stephen, aren't they? That's you look at Livingston there. I know they're up against a Rangers team that have been playing well and have been utterly dominant, and that's maybe not how you should necessarily compare Livy. But you think about what they have been over the years and the problems they have caused. That's a really poor-looking Livy side today, isn't it?
I agree, Richard. It's so far removed from what Livingston were 4 or 5 years ago. And then David Martindale will say, yes, I've lost players, and they have lost players. All clubs have, but there's just something about them where I look around and I think, what is it you're trying to do? Apart from throwing the ball forward to Bruce Anderson, who's having to go and fight with Leon Balogun and Connor Goldson. Lack of goals has been a major worry. I think they've only got 1 goal now in the last 4.5 games. You look at Newbley, hasn't got a league goal all season. Bruce Anderson's got 3. Curtis Guthrie, as the other centre forward, hasn't got a goal. So clearly there's something missing at the top end of the pitch. In possession, they haven't really shown any purpose to what they're trying to do. They're looking for long throws, they're looking for set plays, which is fine. But ultimately, when you come up against the team who are feeling as good as what Rangers are, they're defensively well organised, you need a little bit more of imagination. You need players to take a little bit more responsibility and have a bit more quality when you get into that final third. So I'm not too sure that can be all rectified in 15 minutes at half-time. What you can ask for your players is to be a little bit braver, play a bit further up the pitch. When the ball goes forward up to the strikers, if our centre forwards aren't winning it, can we pick it up in midfield? Rather than the midfield player sitting behind the ball thinking there's no point in going forward because I'm not going to get it, then there's a real disconnect throughout the team. So yes, there's going to have to be a big improvement. The only positive, Lee said it, they're only trailing by a goal, and it just takes one mistake from a Rangers player, a moment of brilliance from a Livingston player, and suddenly the game can be turned on its head. But on chances and possession, they've been miles away.
They've gone 370 minutes without scoring, which is the longest run of any team in the Premiership so far this season. Ross County had gone 365 before then, but Livy 325 going in this afternoon. That's up to 370. So it is the worst run of any team without finding the nets in the top flight this season. There was nothing to suggest that is going to change in the second half, but in football, I guess you never know. Will Rangers continue to dominate? Will Livy somehow find a way back into this match? Full live second half commentary to come with Stephen Craig and Lee McCulloch and Stuart Mitchell.
Thank you, Richard. Rangers have only conceded the one league goal since the managerial change. That was Lawrence Shankland at Ibrox. Livingston, as you rightly mentioned there, on a scoreless run. Haven't scored in their last 3 in the league. Joe Nubley still looking for the first Premiership goal of the season. David Martindale will be aware that usually when Livingston make it difficult for Rangers at home especially, but the last time that Rangers didn't manage to pick up the victory against Livingston was at Ibrox last season. Joe Nubley scored in October. I'll put Livy ahead. John Lundstrom left it late for Rangers at the end of the game to get a point. Rangers have won 9 out of the last 10 against Livingston. Livingston haven't picked up a victory in their last 19 meetings with Rangers ahead of this one. So it's going to take something special from the Lions if they're to roar back in this game. As Brian brought us the change at half-time, Jason Holt is on replacing Sangari. The ball lifted forward from kick-off as Livingston look to clear away. We'll run through the teams shortly as Bruce Anderson picks up and lays off to Lucas, who's still over in that right wing-back slot. He'll turn back as Seamer prevents a path forward, and Christian Montayo, returning from suspension this afternoon, will loft the ball over to this near side for Penrice. It comes off an awkward part of his chest. He will retrieve and go back to Sean Kelly. He looks for Anderson, who gets the flick on. Nubley waits, loads the ball with his forehead. A lovely poke out for Penrice. Final third, whips the ball over. Anderson's header, he maybe just didn't get enough on it as that one skims off and goes well wide of Jack Butland's goal. But one thing's for certain, Lee McCulloch, it's a lot more positive from Livingston to start the second half.
Yeah, definitely. Playing in Rangers half, they got the ball out wide to Penrice. He's took a good touch, but great ball in. And Anderson has just made the run in front of Goldson, it might have been, and he just didn't get contact on the ball. But positive signs at the start for Livingston.
Ball rolled through, Dessers picks up, exchanges passes with Seema, and Seema has it again. A man on loan from Brighton will lay off for Barisic, who's coming up from the left back position, standing one-on-one with DeLucas. Seema now on the shoulder of Christian Montayo, who does very strong defending to see the ball over the touchline, and Livingston will have the goal kick for Jamal George to take. 2 balls on the pitch, so Dessers will clear one, so we can continue to approach the second minute of the second half. Livingston 0, Rangers 1 from that Dessers goal earlier in the game. Managed to get another look at it at half-time. Sliding challenge did mean the ball took a bit of a deflection, but it ended up exactly where Dessers wanted it to go, over the goal line and into the back of the net. Connor Goldson heads away from the Rangers defence. Livingston will let that run for the throw. Just to start with the home side's lineup: George in goal, the back three of Montayo, Devlin and Sean Kelly, Shinnie, Penrice, Pittman, DeLucas in there now with Jason Holt in the midfield, Bruce Anderson and Joe Nubley up top. Montayo has the ball. Livingston will have a throw. Rangers still continuing with Jack Butland in goal, Tavernier, Goldson, Balogun, Barisic, Lundstrom, Lawrence, Jack, Seema, McCausland and Dessers. And Rangers have managed to win possession back down in that top left corner from our commentary position. Borna Barisic with the throw-in to take. Livingston are staring at 5 straight league defeats. If they can't do something in this second half, they need a goal despite that goalless run in the league. Rangers are looking to stretch their lead. Tavernier looks from McCausland, who's on this near side. He's shepherded well by Kelly and Penrice. Sean Kelly plays it long. Goldson and Balogun let it bounce, but Balogun manages to at least get it away to safety as Joe Noubley looks a bit refreshed in the second half. There's a bit more running, the ball seems to be sticking on his head and foot a little bit more. He'll stand it away. This throw in from Sean Kelly.
Yeah, he's such a big player and such a pivotal player for Livingston, because Bruce Anderson's not going to outmuscle Connor Goldson or Leon Balogun. Yes, his movement might be good, or he might get a little ball down the side to get across him, but he needs that forward beside him, someone to hold the ball up and attract attention to create space for him.
Goldson clears the throw away, headed down by Holt. Anderson chasing, Pittman can't get there. Seema with the pass forward, doesn't stick with Dessers. Montayo will clear it upfield. Good lead from Bruce Anderson, but Tavernier will get to the second ball. Livingston recover. Penrice, Noubley, Penrice charging towards the touchline. Low crossover, cleared away by Goldson. And Ryan Jack will sweep up too, but it's only as far as Shinnie. Livingston pushing here at the start of the second half. The team talk from David Martindale seems to have worked at the moment. Can they make it count with a goal? DeLucas in front of Seema. DeLucas goes down quite softly. Stephen McLean will look towards, and he will award the ball to Rangers. And we had a look at the Rangers disallowed goal from McCausland when Seema was penalised at half-time there, Stephen. And DeLucas there going down quite softly over that far side. He's holding the back of his head, but referee Steve McLean also doesn't look convincing by that one.
Well, he's not convinced about this foul. DeLucas had another one in the first half here where he was holding the back of his head and kicking the ground and rolling about, and you're thinking to yourself, if it's really that sore, you wouldn't be flipping about and getting on like that. It's the exact same with that one. However, to the goal you're talking about, when the cross came in from the right hand side from Connor Goldson, Seema did have his hand on the back of Montano, but I didn't think there was really lots of force to go and shove him over and go down the way he did. And you're allowed to put your hand on an opponent's back as long as you're not pushing him over, or sometimes use it for balance or trying to find your space. So yeah, there was a couple of questionable decisions in that first half, it has to be said, from Steve McLean. But this one, he's just said to DeLucas, up you get, throw in Rangers, play on.
There's a crowd gathered around the referee. Connor Goldson's unhappy with the number of Livingston players around there. The referee does instruct. The throw-in is awarded to Borna Barisic and Rangers. 1-0 the score, with Dessers scoring the only goal that's counted so far in this one. And referee Stephen McLean's unhappy with a foul on John Lundstrom. He's pulling over Scott Pittman there for a word. The card seems to be kept in his pocket on this occasion by the referee. But I think the words there, Lee McCulloch, is possibly no more.
Yeah, he said a stern word with him. I'm not sure there was too much in it, that he's caught him with real intent. I think it's just a bit of coming together. Well done, Steve McLean, just letting the game flow.
One thing Rangers won't want is this to become scrappy, because that would suit Livingston despite the scoreline being at 1-0. Rangers have played some good quick stuff in attack, and do so and again in midfield between Ryan Jack and Cyril Dessers there. Spread out to the far side for Barisic. Lawrence is waiting and he'll tap it back for Lundstrom. Now into the centre of defence for Leon Balogun. Caress the ball out to this near side for James Tavernier. Takes it on the inside of his right foot to go on a run. Forced away by Penrice. Balogun's the option again. He receives the ball. Forward now for Lawrence. Third consecutive domestic start for Leon Balogun. Lundstrom now on that far side. Laid off to Barisic. There's a number of players in the box. DeLucas dips the head down at the front post and clears the ball away. Michael Devlin's just having to remove some debris around the penalty area. That's removed by the goalkeeper too and placed at the side of the net. Rangers go quickly with the throw. Lovely pass through from Lawrence. Seema, right-footed shot, is charged down. There's claims Rangers will have the corner in the penalty area just in front of us that Livingston will have to defend. With just over 7 minutes on the second half clock, it's remaining Livingston 0, Rangers 1 for now.
Yeah, that was brilliant play. Really intricate play in such a tight, congested area. Tom Lawrence involved, Barisic involved, Seema involved.
Barisic on the corner. McCausland's a short option there. The group's Gallard just in front of the D on the penalty area. The players break away in red for Rangers. Desser's looking to attack. Mackay was there to defend. It's back in. Sean Kelly heads away. Balogun sniffing around. Holt clears it away over his head, facing his own goal. Now Barisic will sweep up on that far side again. Lundstrom plays the ball back out to the left back. The Croatian moving forward. Blue Boot slips it through for McCausland. Now on that left side, the Rangers number 45. The ball comes off the knees of the youngster. It'll go out for the Livingston goal kick. If you're just joining us on BBC Radio Scotland on Sports Sound this afternoon, it's 1-0 Rangers. Dessers with the only goal. Plenty of VAR action in the first half. James Tavernier missed a penalty. Livingston are now shooting from right to left, the home side at the Tony Macaroni Arena, in their full gold kits with the black trim on the sleeves and socks. Rangers going from left to right in the red and blue kit. Balogun calm, facing his own goal, out to Barisic. Lundstrom, plenty of space as he spins away in the middle, still in his own half. Pittman and Newbley across to try and narrow the path, so he'll go out wide for Barisic. He's stepping forward, midway point of the Livingston half. Takes it on the left foot, pauses. Lundstrom supporting. There's three on his right. One of those, Tavernier, stretched out wide, lifts the ball over the midfield area. James Tavernier sets it, right-footed cross. Claims of handball and Holt. Does McCausland keep it in play? The flag does eventually go up from the referee, and he'll award the corner kick for Rangers to take. Livingston complain. Now Rangers can manage to set up. A bit of a strange one there as the assistant took a couple of seconds to pause, but Tavernier will now act quickly. Almost 55 minutes on the clock. James Tavernier with the corner from this near bottom right arc. And the same collection of players in there for Rangers. Tavernier raises the right arm, lifts it over, back of the 6-yard area. Strong defending from Sean Kelly. Barisic now recovers the ball, back out to Tavernier near side. Quick touch pass from McCausland, scoops it over for Tavernier, and he hooks it into the penalty area on top of the spot. Sima heads on, Desser's around there, Holt gets it away. Livingston under pressure here. McCausland peeling away from the penalty area. Lundstrom central. Rangers slow it down through Tom Lawrence. John Lundstrom again. One of the furthest players back with Ryan Jack. Now Jack has it, out for Tavernier. Rangers set up, Tavernier chips it over. McCausland chasing, but work between Penrice and Bruce Anderson can get it away, but Pittman has to be strong in a header with Lawrence to try and get it further on, because it's still not cleared the Livingston half. Barisic again, Ryan Jack, the Croatian now on the overlap, but Lundstrom's the option. Lawrence coming in field, closed down by that goal of Livingston. Tavernier has to drop back away from Holt. Livy compact, Rangers trying to find a way through. Tavernier, the tiptoes, gets it to Lawrence, sends the ball over looking for Sima, and George had to be brave there to dive down with Sima running in, but he commands that 6-yard area, takes it comfortably, and it remains Livingston 0, Rangers 1. But good play from Rangers there, good defending from Livingston equally, Lee.
Yeah, Rangers just recycling the ball left to right, waiting in that opening, trying to find it. Livingston can't get out, they clear it, and Rangers come again. Livingston sitting deep there. It was a tremendous ball in for Lawrence, and Sima just nearly got the end of it, but Shamal George came out and claimed it.
Sun shining in West Lothian in the blue sky, with a few clouds scattered above. In the open stadium, the sun shining through, a slight shadow of the right floodlight stretching across the pitch from right to left, but looking a lot brighter at the moment for Livingston. Whatever David Martindale was said in that half-time team talk, it's worked for the first 11 minutes, Stephen Craigan, but there's a long 45 minutes ahead in the second half. He needs that to stick with his players.
Well, I don't imagine Davey would have not said that ahead of the game, and I can't think Rangers would have imagined they were going to come here and cruise through the first half in an unopposed game of football. That's exactly what happened. So Livingston just clearly had to be more aggressive in their approach and show a little bit more urgency, and they have done that.
Lions looking a little bit more like the home side as you come to expect when you see them in tough tests here. And DeLucas has done well to win a corner for Livingston. Could there be an equaliser on the cards for David Martindale's side? It's Penrice he'll go over to take. Encouragement for the fans around us in this main stand. Joe Newbley stands in the centre spot. DeLucas moves into the 6-yard area. Immediately claims there's a push there from the defending team of Goldson and Lundstrom. Stephen McLean outside the area keeps a watch. He's dipping his right shoulder to get some vision. Penrice swings it in. Goldson gets the head to it. There's a head knock there between two players. They go down. The players stop. The referee doesn't, and now he'll blow the whistle I think he's awarded a free kick to Rangers in the process too. And there's some concern shown by a few players who immediately want the medical teams on. Brave defending from Connor Goldson, rising the highest in that 6-yard area to head away. Rangers looked a lot more solid in recent times, and there's supporters that you'll read and you're speaking about feeling very comfortable between that partnership of Connor Goldson and Leon Balogun, which is back in the side this afternoon for the trip to Livingston. Balogun not included in that European squad, and it's been a topic of a bit of frustration too. Lee McCulloch with John Souttar out injured as well. I mean, Goldson received a late yellow card in that European game too, which I believe means he misses the game against Darius Limassol that will approach after the international break. But what were your thoughts on the partnership between Connor Goldson and Liam Balogun?
I think today it's worked really well. I was at the game the other night, and Davies was magnificent, I thought, as well. So he'll find himself a little bit hard done by, maybe. We're not being involved today, not playing, obviously. But Balogun has got pace and power. He's a good defender. He defends the box really, really well. So that's why he's probably came back in. With Goldson been out, and we're hoping that Souttar gets back sooner rather than later to get some minutes under his belt.
Well, we'll hand you over to Brian McLaughlin as we have a brief pause as the Connor Goldson's back in his feet. Livingston player still down on the 6-yard area though, and we'll hand you over to Brian McLaughlin because there is news of a Rangers change too, I believe.
Yes, Cyril Desser's game is just about to be over as they approach the hour mark. The player who will be replacing him, Danilo, face mask and all.
Is he to be a Rangers hero again as they look to add to their lead? He's going through his preparations on the touchline, but Livingston and David Martindale's having to shuffle things around in the technical area with a couple of substitutes out warming up as the concern remains here. I think it's Christian Montayo who's receiving the treatment. It's quite hard to see from that angle that we have in the stand here across to that left side, and a lot of the action was in the first half too. The Rangers coaching team having a conversation with Connor Goldson. Philippe Clement just paces the technical area of David Martindale. We'll speak with Penrice and Sean Kelly. Danilo still waiting to come on, and now the board will go up. The 3 9s shown, one in red for Cyril Dessers to be removed from the game, and the double 9 in green for Danilo to come on. 3 goals in his last 4 league games, didn't score coming on as a sub at home to Hibs. Scored in the Sparta Prague game on Thursday night too. Stephen Craigan, Cyril Dessers will take more confidence from getting on the score sheet though this afternoon for Rangers.
Clearly, as a centre forward, you're going to be judged on your goals, but there's still bits of his game that need to improve. He's a little bit rough around the edges, whether it's the surface today has made it a bit uncomfortable for him. Hold up play, link up play has to be better when you get your chances, even the ones that were offside. He didn't know they were offside going through in his mind, so you want to get continually hitting the back of the net as often as you possibly can to build up sustainability about being in the team. So he'll be happy he's got his goal, but he knows moving forward. I would think that come January, Philippe Clement will be looking potentially for another centre forward. You would imagine Kemar Roots out of contract in the summer, Dessers, Danilo. I think they need something. The presence of Dessers maybe a little bit more dynamic with more of a goal-scoring pedigree, so it'll be interesting to see.
There's an applause around the stadium as Christian Montayo is now back to his feet. He won't want to be taken off in this one. He sat out the last couple of games after suspension from his red card in the game against Dundee, which Livingston were defeated 2-0 here. David Martindale has had to shuffle things around at the back this afternoon again, as Lee and Stephen have mentioned throughout this game. But the ball rolling once more after a lengthy period of treatment for Goldson and Montayo, and John Lundstrom will roll the ball across the centre circle for Ryan Jack. Balogun takes now. Lundstrom still standing on that centre spot, looks forward, plays the dangerous ball, but George will come out to the front of his penalty area and take that away from any hope that Tom Lawrence had of getting on the end of it.
It's a hard one because Livingston are so deep. They're standing on the edge of their own 18-yard box, and John Lundstrom is trying to play a 40-yard ball over the top of them. There's no space for them to go and play in. Livingston have decided we're sitting on the edge of our box. They know if they edge forward, Rangers have the ability to go and penetrate in behind, so they're going to have to mix it up.
Montayo back on the pitch. Goldson is there too for Rangers. George hits the ball upfield, but Rangers get possession straight back. First touch for Danilo with a mask on his face. Loses out in a crowd of Livingston players. Devlin will clear upfield. Lundstrom will let it bounce out for the throw. A touch of the left foot from Philippe Clement. So the midfielder can get the ball moving quickly again. Rangers fans hoping to see their team add to their lead here. Cyril Dessers, who was just withdrawn for Danilo with only goal in the first half. Barisic moving down the left side, looking to give Sima something to play with. Montayo's strong low, gets the ball away. It's in a battle of strength with Barisic. The Croatian comes out on top. Now here, Rangers through Lawrence. Ryan Jack keeps it rolling. Lundstrom lets it go for Tavernier to pick up. It's narrow central. Lundstrom, rash there by Bruce Anderson. Rangers awarded the free kick, taken quickly. Lundstrom sees Jack, Jack sees Barisic far side in space. Lucas goes out to meet. Barisic with the right-footed cross deflection. Falls to Lawrence. Lundstrom with a left-footed strike, but that one is always rising. Clears the goal, clears the fence behind the goal into the Rangers support, and it remains 1-0 through that earlier first half. Cyril Dessers strike for Rangers.
It's just so congested now in the middle area of the 18-yard box that Livingston are almost to send the Rangers. Go wide and cross it, because we've got 7 or 8 bodies in here. We think in the law of averages we can make first contact and clear out, so they're going to be relying on the likes of McCausland or Asima to get in a 1v1 situation, drive into the box and try and commit defenders.
Up it goes. Lucas there, and a punching challenge on the touchline with Leon Balogun. Balogun stayed down in front of the advertising boards. The Lucas is back up. Both teams looking to get moving quickly. There's a, we'll call it a debate over whether Rangers should have the ball or not from the Livingston players. They're not wanting Rangers to get moving quickly. Stephen McLean sorts things out, points out to Christy Montayo, who was the one causing the trouble. He's given a ticking off as Rangers get moving again. Right side now, deep in the Rangers half with James Tavernier. Goes long and chases Lawrence, putting pressure on Devlin. George comes out. The Livingston captain is furious with his goalkeeper. He thought he had all the time to deal with that, Michael Devlin, and the fact that the goalkeeper came off his line potentially could cause trouble, but Rangers will only have the throw. Lawrence for McCausland tries to go through the legs of Penrice. Holt has to deal with it. Did he do so in enough time? Rangers thought they should have a corner. The assistant disagrees. Rangers play on. Tavernier looks for Lundstrom. He thought he was checked off by Newbley. Now Livingston have the ball. Jason Holt finds Anderson. He wants a foul. He can't pick out to Lucas. Sima will take. Left side of the penalty area, far side. Abdallah Sima cuts in, right foot, tries to lay off for Jack, but he lets it run, and Bruce Anderson can come in. And with the stoppages in the last 5 or 6 minutes, and the fact that Livingston are standing strong on the edge of the penalty area, it's also become a bit scrappy in this second half. Jack slides the ball through for Sima. Is there a Rangers attack here? Can they get inside the penalty area? The ball ricochets. Jack takes, lines up the shot, right-footed, and that one clears the crossbar, and again into the Rangers support. But David Martindale will be happy, because for the last few moments, Lee, Livingston have restricted Rangers to those shots outside the area.
Yeah, they've restricted them. They're sitting so deep, as Stephen mentioned earlier. And Rangers now need to get the ball wide and get bodies in the box and get quality crosses in the box, or they need to start hitting target for these shots from 20-25 yards out. Livingston haven't really caused a threat higher up the pitch to the Rangers goal, so I think that as the game progresses, they're going to need to come out and search for that first goal.
Quicker on the attacking press, Livingston, so far, when Rangers have the ball at the back. And again, they're back into defensive work now. Penrice hits it high into the sky. McCausland battling with Holt. To the smaller players on the pitch. In the aerial battle, Jack settles. Barisic on the run. He's wide on that far left side. Lawrence, the short option. He'll move central. Lundstrom has it in the middle, and he rolls it short to Jack. Rangers wanting to go out right. There's no path there. Anderson cutting it off. Is there a time to do it now? Jack does have the space. Tavernier takes a step back to collect. Goldson's now come up in support. David Martindale asks where the press is this time. Tavernier now finds Balogun on the opposite side of that centre circle. Lawrence. Livingston with that front three just keeping the wall up, but Goldson will now roam through. Jack on the right side, cuts back onto the left foot, onto the right. McCausland there. He's been a bit quieter in the second half. Ryan Jack. Rangers have 4 in the area. McCausland spins, Jack has space. Can't find anything on the left foot, wants to use the right, he'll turn back. There's a little groan of frustration from some supporters around us, and some of the Rangers end on the right. McCausland now. Forced
It's
back
like a training
again by
exercise.
Penrith.
It's a training exercise of one team attacking and one team trying to defend. Then when they win the ball, they just kick it forward and Rangers come and recycle it again. So there has to be a little bit more ambition shown by Livingston to get out to the ball, a bit more bravery to step into the game. Otherwise, they're going to lose the game 1-0, if not worse.
Collected it here through Pittman, back to Montayo, who lets it run. Danilo chasing. It's a lovely floated pass out to this near side for Penrice, and he'll cut into the middle. Uses Sean Kelly. They'll just look to be patient, Livingston, and make sure they keep a hold of possession. Bruce Anderson's made the run in behind Tavernier, but he leaps up as he so often does and takes that one on his toes. Pittman will run at Butland, but he'll swipe that one away from his penalty area up towards Sima. He's in a battle with DeLucas, the Livingston defender in front, and he'll have the free kick for his side.
He's a bit emotional, isn't he, DeLucas? Every time he gets fouled or he challenges, he's sitting like a petulant child on the ground and pointing at the referee and waving his arms about.
I think petulant is the exact word to describe how he's been. His arms in the air, moaning. I'd like to see him just go on with the game.
Here's Brian with news of a Livingston change.
Yeah, well, I think David Martindale's a bit frustrated as well with DeLucas because his game is over after 69 minutes. He's been replaced by Tom Parks. A real frustration from the Livingston bench, actually. You can see David Martindale and Brian Rice now in the Livy dugout urging the players forward. They feel they are sitting way too deep in the second half.
Thanks very much, Brian. Horrible time with injuries. Tom Parks made a sub-appearance last time out at Dens Park against Dundee in a 1-0 defeat. It was his first since the draw at McDermott Park at the end of September. We'll just have a look to see what that means. I think, Stephen, it will mean that Montayo will go out to that wing-back slot on the right side.
Yeah, I think Sean Kelly's going to cross the play as the right centre-half and Parks will play as the left centre-half. So there's no change of formation, it's just personnel shuffled about.
Becomes a bit more natural for David Martindale. Penrice is down on the ground holding his head. The ball drops at the midway point, central in the Rangers half, and now Stephen McLean is aware of the head knock to James Penrice. A shake of the head between the managers and a quiet word in the ear of the assistant. It's in front of the Livingston dugout, and Penrice will now receive some attention. McCausland just goes over to give the wing back a pat on the back. An applause for DeLucas from the home support as he walks in front of us back to the technical area. Philippe Clement passes on some instructions to James Tavernier, his captain at the moment. He was to decide to look towards his bench in the second half. He still has Kamar Roof there, Sam Lammers, Todd Cantwell, Josie Cifuentes. Attacking options among Robbie McCrory, Ridvan Yilmaz, Duran Sterling, Ben Davies there too. Curtis Guthrie and Stephen Bradley, Stephen Kelly too around if David Martindale starts to think about more attacking changes in this second half. It remains Livingston 0, Rangers 1 through that Dessers goal.
It's been a frustrating second half. I think with Livingston sitting on their own 18-yard box, sometimes with a back six, at times even with a back seven. Rangers can't get frustrated. I know David Martindale is. He's wanting his team to get obviously a little bit higher, but it's so important Rangers keep knocking the ball about. They keep getting on the ball, passing it fluently, quickly, trying to get down the sides of them and create chances, because at 1-0 it's very dangerous, as we spoke about at half time.
One of the things that we saw in that first half is Rangers got the ball wide a lot to Ross McCausland. It's been quieter from him in this second half, and there's been a lot more central play from Philippe Clement's side as Danilo goes chasing down on the Livy substitute Tom Parks. He's managed to find a pass daggered through to Anderson, and he plays it behind Penrice, and you can hear the groan from the home support, because that was a real opportunity to get the left wing back James Penrice rushing forward there to try and create an attack.
Well, it probably tells you about the game that they're disappointed because somebody couldn't complete a pass in the halfway line. That shows you the ambition that they've had. Listen, and sometimes it happens. You play against a better team and they pin you back and you can't get up, and you're stuck in between wanting to press and wanting to drop off because you're trying to protect your back line and stay in the game. But at some stage, they're going to have to commit bodies forward, and that's when the likes of McCausland and Sima might get a little bit more space to work in.
Jack for Barisic. Floats it in. Sima there with a header. It goes all the way to the back post. Penrice is there. McCausland gets the drop in the penalty box. Can he find crossing space? Penrice stands in the way. Rangers have another corner. It will be on this near right side for James Tavernier to take. Can they work the set piece? Stephen McLean holds the left arm up or maybe a potential check on less and a delay to the corner being taken for Rangers. Could be for a handball. There was some half-hearted claims around. Lundstrom is over there and he signals that the arm was raised. It is being checked as the announcement is made to the stadium.
I have to say, when the cross came in, I thought it was actually Seema's arm. There was an arm in the air, and I thought Seema had tried to get across and potentially used his arm as leverage, and the ball may have hit it. However, John Lundstrom clearly sees something completely different, because he's adamant that there was an arm involved.
It happened so quickly with all the bodies in there. But it is being checked. VAR has been quiet in the second half compared to the first. We had a Goldson goal disallowed. We had a penalty awarded that was confirmed. We had another goal disallowed. Brian McLaughlin is down beside the monitor. We'll pass over to you, Brian, as Stephen McLean signals the monitor in the air, and he's about to make his way over to you again.
Yeah, he's heading over, and what he will see is that Mickey Devlin did have his arm up above the Rangers player, and the ball certainly came off the arm of Mickey Devlin, and I'm certain now that this will be a penalty kick to Rangers.
Stephen McLean's over. Michael Devlin can only watch on in the penalty area. Stephen McLean has his hands on his hips in between the two dugouts. He's having a watch. The players are gathered outside the area continuing their discussions. Stephen McLean now turns away, still having a look. He blows the whistle and he points to the spot. It's another Rangers penalty, and it's another opportunity for James Tavernier from the spot. He missed in the first half. What will happen in the second? Christian Montayo just stands around in front of the Rangers captain. Stephen McLean points out that the arm was high. Brian reporting is Michael Devlin, who is the one committing the foul. He has his hands on his face in disbelief as he walks away, and Rangers have the opportunity from the penalty spot to make it 2. Stephen McLean instructs Shamal George to stay on his line. James Tavernier has the left foot to the side of the ball. He stares down. He takes a couple of steps back. He readies that right foot, that light blue boot. The referee blows the whistle. James Tavernier steps up and scores! Goal, Rangers! Tavernier sends it to the goalkeeper's right, Tavernier's left, and this time he can celebrate his 6th league goal of the season, and it's Rangers' 2nd in this game. Livingston 0, Rangers 2.
Yeah, tremendous composure there, especially when they're missing one in the first half. He's went across his body. That's where he usually hits his penalties, or the bulk of his penalties anyway, and it's now that it's 2-0, surely Livingston have got to come out and look for that goal to try and get back in the game. They can't sit 6 players across their 18-yard box. It'll be interesting to see what David Martindale's thinking now. Do they go and really put a press on the Rangers defence at 2-0? I think they need to do something.
As Livingston get ready to restart, we'll find out what Philippe Clement's thinking. Here's Brian.
Yeah, there's going to be a couple of changes made. Certainly coming on will be Todd Cantwell and Sam Lammers. Still waiting on information on who they will be replacing, but certainly Cantwell and Lammers coming on. And I don't think it'll be too long as well before Livy make a couple of changes.
Thank you, Brian. The ball's up in the top left corner area as Livingston will now have a corner.
It could be Jack Butland, maybe, because he hasn't had a touch in the second half, hasn't he? I mean, he may as well play with 11 outfield players, because Livingston have showed nothing really was going to take them up the pitch. And that sounds harsh, but it's reality.
They may need the stopper here as Penrice gets ready to whip in the corner. Livingston pack that penalty box. Can they get back into this game? It's high, it's dipping, it's above Montayo, cleared away. Shinnie has a shot with the right foot. It's all the way back out to the corner taker, and the flag raised behind the corner taker of Livingston for the offside. That one breaks down. There will be no threat on Jack Butland's goal that time, and now the changes will be made. Ross McCausland, who made his first start this afternoon, will receive applause from the Rangers following, as he's one of the players coming off, with Cantwell and Lammers ready to come on. Philippe Clement's side in a better position to do so thanks to that James Tavernier penalty. Makes it 2-0 Rangers on the afternoon. 5 goals in his last 4 domestic games. A handful of penalties in there. The appreciation shown to Ross McCausland by 2 experienced players coming on in Cantwell and Lammers. A tap on the head from Philippe Clement, who was saying through the week to Jane Lewis that this is the best place for Ross McCausland. There's hints of contract talks going on. And there's a change about to happen now for Livingston. We'll hand you back over to Brian, who's pitch side, to give us news of that.
Yeah, Joel Newbley's races run with 78 minutes on the clock, and replacing him will be another striker, Curtis Guthrie.
And Joel Newbley has a terrific scoring record against Rangers, 2 goals in 3 matches against them last season. Still looking for a first league goal of the season. It won't come this afternoon, and Curtis Guthrie will join Bruce Anderson in the attack. Just a reminder, it is now Livingston 0, Rangers 2, with just under a quarter of the second half to play. It will be a Rangers throw on the far side. Barisic to take. More comfortable now for Philippe Clement. His first trip to the Tony Macaroni Arena. He's heard plenty about how tough a game this is for teams at times, but his Rangers side have negotiated it so far, and Tavernier's looking to add a third goal as he tries to stab the ball through for Sam Lammers, who's now over in that left position on the penalty area. A little too heavy. The ball picks up pace and goes behind for the Livingston goal kick.
And I get that Livingston, being a top flight club next season, may not boil down to points they pick up against the Old Firm, but I just think when you get them in your own patch, and there's a lot of talk about the pitch, you want to go and try and make it as uncomfortable for them as you possibly can. It's been routine, it's been straightforward for Rangers, and that's not the Livingston that people have expected over the last few years. So it will be a major disappointment that they haven't really taken the game to Rangers at any stage so far.
Livingston bottom of the Scottish Premiership table after St Johnstone's victory against Ross County yesterday. They need something from this game to change that. They now need at least 2 goals. As John Lundstrom wriggles away, facing his own goal back in the Rangers half. It's cleared away by Balogun, but Livingston will have the chance to attack. Anderson gets the ball at his feet, but he can't find the pass again. Another groan from the Livingston supporters around us in the main stand. And now James Tavernier, the most recent goal scorer, will play a pass for Ryan Jack. Cantwell delicately played for Jack again. Penrice is getting back in front of the Rangers midfielder. Lundstrom will now roll it for Balogun. Barisic peels away. He's on the halfway line, looks up, Seema's there. Seema will take. Forced all the way back now. Lammers central. He'll spin away, but he runs into a Livingston wall, and the ball will break to James Penrice. He'll sweep it back to Shamal George. Lifted with the left foot. He aims for Curtis Guthrie. That recent Livingston sub. Tavernier goes down. He felt something in the face. Stephen McLean was close by. He'll allow play to continue, but then pauses, notices it's a head knock, and now will bring play back. Took a couple of seconds again to think about it. James Tavernier will just, well, he's on his knees on the ground to have a look up towards the referee and ask, how did he not see that? The Rangers medical team will get ready. But time running out, under 10 minutes for Livingston to try and pose some threat to Jack Butland's goal. But as the game goes on and on, so again Bruce Anderson with the opportunity around the penalty area, but again couldn't pick a pass out there, Lee. And it's just edging closer and closer towards that bit of resignation from Livingston as it stands.
Yeah, I think when Newbley coming off and Guthrie going on, I think Guthrie probably is more mobile and he's staying up higher, but Newbley tends to drift off to the left and play round about Tavernier's zone. It seems to be now it's like a straight 2 up front, and out of possession, Guthrie usually being the one dropping back in. Whether that's a more positive change, I think time will tell, but at least there's a little bit more mobility up there to try and get in behind the Rangers defence.
Montayo is receiving some treatment, so play will be paused. And full live commentary coming up after this one at Celtic Park against Celtic against Aberdeen after us here in Livingston. So let's quickly cross over to Liam McLeod for the team news.
Thanks, Stuart. Yeah, Celtic 2 changes from Madrid. Holm comes in for his first league start. Yang as well. Bernardo and Maida are out. It's Hart in goal. Johnston, Carter, Vickers, Scales, Taylor, O'Reilly, McGregor, Holm, Yang and Palma either side of Kyogo. 4 changes for Aberdeen. Clarkson, Polvara, Hayes and Mijovski come in for Barron, Duncan, Duke and McGrath, who doesn't make the squad at all. Roos in goal. Garteman, Rubidzic and Jensen. Devlin and McKenzie. Shinnie and Clarkson with Polvara, Hayes and Mijovski.
Thanks very much, Liam. And in the process, we're across at Celtic Park there. Justin Montayo has been booked, he's been taken off too, and Jamie Brandon comes on for Livingston, and there's still a continuing applause from Christian Montayo as he walks in front of the Rangers support who've been vocal with him the full afternoon. And just a sign of Livingston getting drawn into things off the pitch. It's not quite been there from David Martindale's side this afternoon on the pitch, and Jamie Brandon is on for Livingston for the final stages. Parks, one of the other Livingston sub, takes it. He'll lose possession to Cantwell. And Danilo will take over. Back to Cantwell again in a tight space. Penrice charging away. The Rangers fans erupt into song, and now Cantwell is involved with Penrice down in the touchline. And we have said and used the word scrappy for the second half at times. James Tavernier has added to the scoreline to make it 2-0 from the penalty spot, but players are just starting to get involved in little bits of afters and challenges now, Lee.
Yes, it's getting a little bit petulant. I'm just watching Nathaniel walk round the pitch, all the way around the Rangers fans, clapping the Rangers fans and trying to get a bite out of them. I don't know what he's thinking, but it's that word again, petulant. As we've just seen Cantwell get booked here for, I don't know what he's done. But again, he was arguing, he was pushing. Players just need to get on with the game.
Parks has done exactly that with the free kick, but it's wasted as it's straight to Sima, who could head clear for Rangers. 2-0, the visitors are ahead. Guthrie starts an attack for Livy. Penrice left side. What can the Lions do here? Penrice runs at Tavernier, aims for the byline. Tavernier does well to stretch out the right leg and doesn't allow any cross to go over. Throw in now for Livingston to take. Try and set up around the penalty area. Will be a long one as Penrice readies and takes a few steps back towards the edge. The advertising boards on the left side of the main stand. The run up, the throw, heading for Guthrie. Sima's header sends it back to where it came from. Another Livingston throw. Just over 5 minutes to play. Livingston 0, Rangers 2. Dessers with a first half goal. James Tavernier striking in the second half from the spot after missing one from the spot in the first half. Barisic, is there a foul there? The referee pauses, has a look and awards the free kick to Livingston, and it's in a dangerous area over on that right side on the corner almost of the penalty area as Bruce Anderson is down. Perfect position for a left footer to stand over it, and will Livingston be able to test? Jack Butland here. Livingston 0, Rangers 2.
That's good play by Bruce Anderson. I think a couple of times this afternoon he's turned well, he's done well, and then he's given the ball away needlessly under absolutely no pressure, but he uses his body well. He entices Barisic in, they're making the foul, and now Sean Kelly over the ball. Can they make an impact in the game, have a rousing finish, and see if they can put Rangers under some sort of stress, because they haven't been under stress all afternoon.
Sean Kelly's there with the left foot. Andrew Shinnie is also there with the right. If they fancy the crossover towards Guthrie, Devlin and Parks. Shinnie clips up, right-footed, headed away with power by Goldson. Holt sends it back in. Lundstrom's there to clear. Cantwell will look to break. Jack takes it, loops it high into the sky. Danilo watches it. Holt's the one that wins it. Parks aims for Guthrie. Goldson goes down. Rangers will have the free kick. 2-0 it remains for Rangers. Livingston posed much on Jack Butland's goal, but they've not really been able to work anything from the set pieces. They've been poorly executed. Connor Goldson has been one of the standouts in the air in defence, clearing away any danger as Philippe Clement looks to add to his clean sheet record for his defence under his stewardship. Lundstrom sweeps the ball over far side for Barisic. Pittman wanted to win it, but he couldn't do so. Poked forward for Sima. Brandon's there, stays strong, lets the ball run over for the Livingston throw. Remember here, if you're joining us late, it's a Super Sunday on BBC Sports Sound, full live commentary of Celtic Aberdeen after this one. That's a 2:30 kick-off. Sports Scene has highlights tonight, BBC Scotland at 7:15 p.m, also available live on the BBC iPlayer and available to watch there shortly after the broadcast. Throwing in, Lammers helps on to Danilo. He's not been involved in too much action since being introduced. Jamie Brandon will try and make sure he doesn't get involved in any more. Barisic holds on the touchline, far side. He'll now go on the drive forward, lay off for Danilo, doesn't find the flick. Pittman looks for the run of Anderson. Goldson's watching, gets it all the way back to Butland. He'll have to sweep it away quickly and does so to Tavernier. Looks forward. Driving forward again over the halfway line. Todd Cantwell. And for Lammers. Lifts it over. Arrows it for Barisic. Sima ahead. Sima gets the ball. Barisic on the overlap. It's infield for John Lundstrom. Gives it to Ryan Jack. Cantwell, introduced from the bench this afternoon. Tavernier. Lundstrom. Barisic. 4 in the box for Rangers. Barisic sweeps it in. Lammers was looking to get the head on it. Park strong in defence. And now Danilo with the shot. High over the crossbar. No threat on Shamal George's goal. And there will be another couple of changes made by Rangers. So let's hand you back over to Brian McLaughlin.
Yeah, the final 2 changes of the afternoon for the Rangers. Abdullah Sima is coming off, being replaced by Ridvan Yilmaz. And Jose Cifuentes is also coming on for a rare appearance these days, and he'll be replaced by Ryan Jack, who'll be home to part of the Scotland setup in Georgia later this week.
That's right. And after today it is the international break. Steve Clarke in Scotland travel to Georgia. We'll have you covered on Sports Sound from 4:05. And Richard Gordon and the team kick off of that one at 5 p.m. Highlights at 10 p.m. on BBC Scotland and iPlayer as Rangers make those changes. And Stephen Craigan, Philippe Clement with that comfortable 2-0 lead on a trip to the Tony Macaroni Arena, able to get the confidence going through the squad and give a lot of players that he's named on the bench minutes, especially with Ridvan Yilmaz also not being available in that European squad.
Clearly it was all about just winning the game and keeping that momentum going. It's kind of hard to decide whether Rangers have been really good or not, because they haven't really had to push themselves at any stage. I mean, the midfield, Lundstrom and Ryan Jack have absolutely strolled through the game unopposed, knocked the ball about, not many tackles. It's been very passive. So yes, it's been an efficient performance, but I'm not too sure it's been a top class performance, because it hasn't needed to be.
You spoke earlier, Lee, about the machine that Philippe Clement wants to implement here at Rangers, and it's just about that winning habit. Possibly get the job done on a difficult trip.
Yeah, it's about keep momentum going. The start that they've had under Clement has been sensational, and the performances at times as well. Today, Stephen's spot on. I think Rangers were really good first half. Second half has been a little bit of a non-event, so to speak. It's not been entertaining for the neutral. It's just been attack against defence, really, and there's nothing really happened in the game second half. But Rangers won't be complaining. It's another 3 points by the looks of it, and the bandwagon keeps rolling on, as they say.
Just as you think you're rolling towards the end of the 45 minutes, a reminder of the events of VAR in the first half is 9 additional minutes is added on, but there's also been stoppages through injuries. There's a number of players receiving treatment in this second half, and a stoppage for the penalty decision that VAR checked as well in the second period too. Philippe Clement has a conversation with the fourth official before Rangers get ready to take the throw. So 9 additional minutes to be played.
I can imagine the only ones happy with that are the substitutes coming on, because normally you come on and get yourself a minute or two. They can't come on and get themselves 12 or 15 minutes because of the time added on.
A number of those made too. Jack Butland will just pause, gets a feel of the ball between his feet and plays it out to Connor Goldson. Now Barisic clipped forward towards Danilo, the most advanced man for Rangers. Devlin deals with it, and there is Sean Kelly trying to fish the ball out between some legs in the air. He will get the throw in for his side.
Stuart, I know in the build up to this, I think Philippe Clement said they trained on AstroTurf this week. Did they? Possibly yesterday, maybe had a session on it. Previous Rangers managers haven't. So yes, it may play a small part. It's not the defining factor, but sometimes it is just to give the players a little feel for the surface. The ball may bounce differently, it may maybe move slightly different. So, you know, whether that's him just thinking outside the box and trying to prepare his Rangers players for the game.
Balogun's taken a sore one there in the aerial battle with Curtis Guthrie, and Rangers will be awarded the free kick. Next matches for these two: Livingston travel to Paisley to take on St Mirren on the 25th of November after the national break. Rangers play the next day, the 26th, away to Aberdeen, and then they host Aris Limassol a number of days later in the Europa League action. Maybe a well
You will come back for them. Right, okay, Grant.
Get back on the training pitch with the players that he has available to try and work in things going forward. It's 2-0 here inside the 9 additional minutes of stoppage time being played at the end of the second half on BBC Sports Sound. Goals from Cyril Dessers in the first half, James Tavernier penalty in the second. Goldson had one disallowed in the first. James Tavernier missed a penalty in the first, and Ross McCausland had one disallowed for a foul in the build-up too. Todd Cantwell spinning, turning, and Anderson has not one, not two, but 3 bites at the heels of Todd Cantwell, and Rangers will have the free kick in a show of frustration from Bruce Anderson. He's put in a power of running, and he looks Livingston's likely threat for the remainder of the season. The former Aberdeen man has 3 Premiership goals. He's featured in all but 1 game in the league this season. Barisic now for Rangers, tunnelling down that left side to a number of players. Ridvan Yilmaz goes left, goes right, but doesn't take the ball with him. Sean Kelly can't find a way out as the Rangers attacking left side. Presses in there. A strange view of the partnership of Barisic and Ridvan Yilmaz, who are so often competing for that position over there. John Lundstrom has the ball in the Rangers half of the centre circle, going from left to right. Tavernier gives it back to the number 4. Cantwell will lay off to Lundstrom and make his move forward. Goldson turns back to this near side. James Tavernier.
And the intensity is completely out of the game, isn't it? Both sides are wanting to find a whistle for different reasons. Rangers just to complete the game and win 3-0. Livingston just to put them out of their misery, because they're chasing about, they've chased shadows, they haven't been involved in the play very much. It's been a tough afternoon physically and mentally for them, so they've got 2 weeks now to go and have a game plan for the next one coming up.
Goldson has it at the back as Rangers just spray the ball around. No real need to go forward. They'll wait on an opening to show, and it does for Lammers. He lays off for Ridvan Yilmaz. He's clipped by Jamie Brandon. Rangers free kick. The referee will get the paint out, but Rangers want to move quickly. Steve McLean not happy, and he will draw things back as the time ticks down and make it another 4 of the added minutes to play. I'm sure neither manager will be too disgruntled at hearing the final whistle go quicker than the signalled 9. Cifuentes plays the ball for Tavernier, zips it into the right foot of Lammers, touches and moves. Cifuentes back to Tavernier. Guthrie and Anderson continue that forward line press for Livingston. There's space out on the far side for Borna Barisic. Danilo almost advanced. They use Yilmaz on the wing. Lovely turn, playing on the shoulder, gets it across. Danilo there, but parks in front, and he heads the ball behind over the crossbar for a Rangers corner. Danilo just thought his eyes lit up there as he tried to peel away from the Livingston defence. There's real concentration from the Livingston defender there, and the score remains at Livingston 0, Rangers 2.
Yilmaz does great there. He gets the ball out his feet, and what a cross that is. And Danilo just drifted off the back of his man there. He was expecting to head that in. That'd have been a goal there, but it was great defending. I'm not quite sure. I think it might have been Sean Kelly just with the clearance. That's the best bit of excitement we've had in the last maybe 5-10 minutes.
Tavernier Cantwell stand over the corner. They complain that Scott Pittman's too close to the arc for it to be taken. The official on this near side touchline pushes him back. Tavernier whips it in. It's over the head of Danilo, and the clearance there is from Michael Devlin, but it was untidy. It came off his foot on the ground and just rolls out for another corner. Tavernier ready to take again. Rangers threatening. Is there a third goal to be had for Philippe Clement's side? Tavernier raises the hand, swings in the corner to the back. Balogun's header, but he sends that one wide. For a moment there it looked threatening. Shamal George wasn't concerned, and Livingston will have the goal kick to take. A couple of minutes remain here. 2-0 Rangers lead. Remember, commentary to come from Celtic Park. We'll have the build-up after this one. Kick-off is at 2:30. Liam McLeod on commentary. George sends the goal kick up towards Guthrie. Balogun's there to get it away for Rangers. Anderson steps in now, tries to find Brandon. There's a red wall of Rangers not allowing Livingston any way through late in this game. Connor Goldson will start a move. Cantwell tiptoes back into his own half, turns to find Tavernier. Cartwell deep as I look forward. Danilo threatened to run. Lammers dropped short. Cifuentes is peeled away on this near right side. Cushions the ball with the right foot. First time cross towards Danilo. Holds back to goal. Gets the shot away. And Jamal George scrambling across at the near post to turn that one behind. Danilo, with not much space to work with, did superbly there to get the ball out of his foot, just to turn and get the shot away. And Jamal George untidy, but he managed to do the job. And Rangers will have another corner. Livingston 0, Rangers 2.
Yeah, it's excellent play. Initially tried Cantwell on the halfway line, starting to build up. Cifuentes getting beyond the midfield, and Danilo, lovely little turn and strike. I didn't think it was really ever going to threaten to hit the back of the net. A little bit untidy from Jamal George, but Rangers don't care.
Tavernier, near side, right-footed, outswinger, corner, headed away by Andrew Shinnie. Lundstrom on the edge of the D. Campbell takes the touch with the right toes. Lundstrom, Tavernier, 4 still remain. Tavernier looks to hit Danilo at the back. He'll peel away. Goldson's there. Clips it through 2 for Danilo. Back to Goldson, right-footed strike. And the partnership there was the wrong way round as Goldson lifts that one high and well wide. And I think Danilo's just having a little laugh to himself as he walks out of the penalty area. A smile from the Rangers 99 and Connor Goldson. I need to watch what I say here because I'm sitting next to 2 players that played in defence. The defender's shot possibly, Lee.
I'm laughing at Danilo's still laughing at him. As Goldson does great. He plays a lovely 1-2 with Danilo. He's at 18-yard box. Round about the centre of the goal, he's tried to curl it into the far corner and it's ended up nearly going out of the stadium.
I think what made it was Goldson's frustration as he screamed furiously, and Danilo found that funny. And he can laugh because the full-time whistle has blown here at the Tony Macaroni Arena. Rangers make it 5 Premiership wins in a row and resign Livingston to 5 straight Premiership defeats. Philippe, Clement and his team come through a test in the West Lothian with 3 points this afternoon, and now the focus will turn to Celtic at the top of the Premiership. But there was plenty to talk about here in Livingston. In the first half, Goldson thought he'd opened the scoring for Rangers. It was ruled out after some VAR involvement and the score was put back to 0-0. Rangers had a penalty and James Tavernier struck it wide of the right post and the goal down to our left. And then Ross McCausland thought he'd marked his first Rangers start with a goal, but it was brought back with a foul committed in the build-up by Seema. Cyril Dessers scored to make it 1-0 Rangers at half-time. There wasn't much to talk about in the second half, but after VAR involvement again, Rangers were awarded a penalty after the decision was made of handball. Stephen McLean looked at the monitor. James Tavernier stepped up to the spot at the second time of asking and made no mistake as he sent the ball to his left into the back of the net. The Rangers players go over to the supporters, still singing to our right from our position in the main stand. It finishes at the Tony Macaroni in this Sunday lunchtime kickoff on BBC Sports Sound. Livingston 0, Rangers 2.
On